I hope we're all having a great Moonlight Monday. What is going on? Necromancer Chris. Wonderful day to you as well. Darbicus.
Made a mistake. We made a mistake.
Indeed, Darbicus. I hope you're doing well. Thursday Adams, good to see you. I hope you've been well. Adrian Bauer. Sherlock Holmes does ride again. Balinor, how are you? Almost done, eh? Oh, look, it's Triple Mac, who you should all follow, who also has the deepest voice on Twitch. I can't recreate it, but Mac can. I hope you've been well. It's always good to see you. Ozzy Dahaka, how you doing? Hope you're well. Emet Sistemi, what's going on? What's going on? All right. So, a couple things. Number one, we're going to get the old Sherlock Holmes note thingy out here. There we go. Let me all read to you what tonight's mystery is about. By the way, very sorry about last night. I know we were supposed to do .hack Outbreak, and this time of year is really tough for me. I am a manager, and I'm a manager in a services world, but this services world exists within a retail type environment, and so this time of year is very difficult for me. So I appreciate you all bearing with me. I will try very hard not to cancel any other streams this holiday, but I can't promise it. I will do the best I can for all of you, and I appreciate your support. So we're going to do The Mystified Murderess, this one right here. See? Mystified Murderess, that one. 4th of July, 1888. Here's what it says. Her suitor was infuriated. His kind lady had been charged with the murder of a scoundrel, a fortune-squandering bounder, a true cad. Rumors were that she had favored the young fellow, but he had frolicked with her sister. It says frolicked. It is said that 3 makes a crowd. In this case, it made a corpse. Ooh, I like that. All right. I appreciate that, Necromancer Curtis. I appreciate you in any form of Curtis. Murderess, you say? Is she single now? You might say that. Fulkin Farnell says, stream my Streets of Rage t-shirt and we will be entertained with that.
Now then, what brings you to my inner sanctum?
Leper, thank you for the 21 months. Your subscription is old enough to vote, is old enough to join the army, but most importantly, is old enough to drink. Your support of the realm and the domain is greatly appreciated. Enjoy your ad-free viewing emotes, and yes, sub-badges, Leper. A true hero of the realm and the domain. Okay, so here we go. The Mystified Murderess. We have our notes ready. I just would like to remind everybody that the volume on the Sega CD Mister Core, which is what we're playing on, is incredibly low. I actually submitted a GitHub request for it, and I don't even know... Here, can I share with you all the Do I share this? Yeah, I'll share this. I don't mind. I'm not quite certain if the reply is we can add this to the Mister Core potentially,
you don't
or
belong in this dimension,
you should do
Zophar.
this. I'm not sure.
Darbicus11584 cheered 100 bits. It is okay. We, and by we I mean I, canonically established last night that Rick's temporal adventures with the Retro Island time machine temporarily transformed you into a sentient box of saltine crackers. Thankfully. Well, thank you so much for the 100 bits, Darbicus. I agree with you, and your support of the realm and the domain is greatly appreciated. So let me just real quick share with you what I shared about the core, the problem with audio, because there is a problem. It's definitely lower than it was, as I remember it, on the Sega CD hardware. I say definitely a problem. I'm fairly sure there's something wrong with the audio volume in this core, but I can't be certain because I have not plugged up my Sega CD in years. But see, the thing is, my gaming monitor, it has a volume control that's built in. I've had it up to 100 for every stream, but for the Sega CD core specifically, it's the only core I have this problem with. The volume is so low when you're dealing with like speech that I have trouble hearing it. Like I literally have to like pay attention real quick. And if anybody like does a sound effect or a cheer or anything, I appreciate you. I can't hear what's going on. Now, I have it pumped up in OBS for all of you as high as it'll go so you can hear it better than I can, but there's no, like, the gaming monitor speakers don't have any kind of, like, amplification. And the reason I don't pump it through OBS is because you're going to get echo effect, because why? I don't wear headphones. So I'm trying to avoid that. But let me show you what I posted on the GitHub, and you tell me. I'm not quite sure if this is a recommendation for me, which will not help me because, like I said, the audio is through the gaming monitor, or if the core author is saying that they can add this. I'm not certain. Here's what I have. By the way, the Mr. Team is awesome, and they're always very helpful. When I read this, I wasn't quite sure how to read it, so I didn't reply yet. So here's what I posted. Audio in majority of games is very low compared to other cores. An odd issue I've noticed since I've been streaming Sega CD games on Twitch more often with the Mister. I'm noticing that game audio seems very low compared to most other Mister cores, to the point where games with voice dialogue can be near unplayable when using the Mister on a gaming monitor with built-in speakers as I am. You can only amplify them to get so loud. I spelled possibly wrong, wow. Can we possibly look into this and potentially allow for an audio boost setting here? I don't remember an original Model 1 Sega CD sounding this low by default on actual hardware and a CRT tube, but it was a long time ago. Thanks. Birdie Bro replied because someone else had also posted the same exact issue, which I didn't know, which is cool to know, so I'm not the only one having this problem. And Sorglig, one of the programmers of the Mr. Project, says, and I believe the author of this core, with many audio sources, each source becomes quieter. Probably can add a compressor. Now, is he commentating upon the core itself on his end, that he can probably add a compressor to the core? Or is he saying, I'm streaming an OBS, it just sounds low, add a compressor? I'm not sure which way to read it. What do you all think? I'm not certain. I read it like 3 times, I still am not sure. So I didn't reply yet. Oh boy, I am so thirsty. I was at the dentist earlier today, chat, getting this crown re-cemented with permanent cement. And then I had to have what they call scaling. So they numbed this whole side of my face. And man, it wore off and it freaking, oh, it's sore. Leper says you think he's misunderstood. I would not say he's misunderstood necessarily because I don't understand it. Oh, I guess that would be misunderstood. I don't have an understanding one way or the other is what I guess I'm saying. So I'm not certain what he's saying. How do you read that, Leper? Melpo says you feel that might not work as well as you'd want. Well, me adding a compressor won't help anything. That won't do anything because it's not a thing. The issue's not all of you. You can hear it fine because I've got the volume for you all the way up. The problem is my gaming monitor right here only has the sound so loud. It only goes so loud. It's not a receiver. There's no dial. It's just in the settings as high as it goes for me, which is different than what you're hearing, because what you're hearing is I have the Mister. So what the Mister is doing is you're seeing what is coming from the capture card. My splitter's feeding it, right? So the splitter's feeding that, but it's also going directly, the capture card is going directly out to my gaming monitor. You see? So you're getting the sound directly from the Mister, which OBS is pumping up. So you're fine. But I'm hearing the sound through the gaming monitor, which is literally, it's going to the gaming monitor and it's getting what it's getting, and it's not really able to pump it up like OBS would. That's why I'm saying, like, I don't... If what Sorglig is saying is I should add a compressor in OBS, that is not going to fix anything. It's not going to solve anything, because the problem has nothing to do with you hearing the sound, chat. The problem has to do with my gaming monitor only getting so loud. Which, if it was like this in other cores and everything else that I do, I would say, oh man, this gaming monitor speakers, they just suck. But it's only this core, because the default volume's too low. That's what I think. I just think it's too low. And if I didn't have a Sega CD, I might just think that's how the Sega CD was. It was not how, I'm telling you, it was not how it was. It was not this low. It wasn't. Either that or I'm going deaf. And I don't think that's what it is. Ask Churd if he has the same problem. He streams Sega CD regularly, and I don't know how he fixed it. Oh, Darbic, did you hear him having this problem before? You feel like the core issue needs resolved. What issue 88 talk about? Let's see. Let me go to issue 88. Execute issue 88. All right. I'm going to go in here and paste you what the other one says. I would just like to reiterate the Mr. team is awesome, and I appreciate them. This is really the only, of all the Mr. cores, like, this is the one. This is why, like, I used to, if you remember, I used to stream a lot of Sega CD when we started streaming before the Mr. I used the Genesis Mini for it. Then when the Mr. came out and I switched mainly to it, I realized I couldn't hear half the stuff. So, like, I don't know. It's much more noticeable in Sherlock Holmes than any of the other stuff. But it's like that in all of them. So this is what issue 88 is. Issue 88. 40-watt range, a year and a half ago, said, it seems that this core is very quiet compared to a lot of others. If using it during streaming, I have to add roughly 10 decibels of gain just to get it roughly where everything else sits. That's what I'm doing. I moved it from, I normally do negative 11 for the game capture. I have it all the way up at 0 now. So it's a very similar problem for all of you, so you can hear it. Is there a way to add an amplify option so the volume of a normal level with the rest of the cores? Maybe something like a plus 10 decibels toggle. I understand the core probably already has the exact audio, so that's just why I request as an option rather than modifying the audio overall. Birdie Bro then comments, something like this could probably be added. And then this is where, you know, it gets out of my realm of understanding things. So that's what Birdie Bro posted there. Duke Don says, can I? Yes, absolutely. And hi, by the way, Duke. You should all follow Duke. Duke, also a programmer, unlike me, who never finished school, is awesome and has great things on his stream, like neural nonsense and food and 70 bits. Oh, boy. All right, so here are the issue trackers for your perusal. This is issue 88 right here. And then my original issue, or not original, but my issue, which is newer and seems to be a duplicate, is this one. Correct. So this is another thing, Leper, which we could probably go deeper in on Discord, honestly. But there's a few things like this that are, if you go in the issue tracker, like I reported a bug in Dark Wizard a year and a half ago with the sound effect bug. That hasn't been fixed either yet. This core is interesting in that it doesn't really ever get updated. I think it's been updated 2 times since I bought the Mystery a year and a half ago, and I didn't perceive a difference in anything in either of them, so I just don't think it's the focus right now, which I understand. There's so many cores on the Mystery. There's a lot of work that goes into this stuff. But, yeah, I would say there's not a lot of activity anymore, or ever, as long as I've had the Mystery on the Sega CD core. So it's good. It plays the vast majority of stuff, but the stuff that doesn't seem right to me has been this way the entire time I've had it. So like the Dark Wizard sound effects is not, you know, is still like that. The audio volume has always been like this in the core. Microcosm has never worked properly. It reboots itself after the intro. I don't know. Sega CD is one of my favorite systems, so I hope we can get it figured out. Correct, Duke Donuts. In fact, and that's, so you're reading it the way I was wondering if that was how it was meant to be read. Basically what I'm doing is I have the audio from the Mister, so it's HDMI out, and it's going into a splitter, which is going in an HDMI splitter. It's been like that the whole time, which is going into my game capture card. The game capture card is sending it to OBS and is also sending it to my gaming monitor. And that's how everything runs. My Mister's hooked that way. My old Genesis Mini's hooked that way. My Retro Tink is hooked that way. Everything you've seen me stream for a year and a half is set this way. This is the only core that my ears have trouble hearing the audio, which comes from the gaming monitor, which is how I hear everything. I don't, like, OBS audio is just going to all of you. He's suggesting that the audio is quieter because I'm passively splitting an analog signal, which is not the case. He's also ignored this is quieter in comparison to all other cores. Yeah. I've never tried the Turbo CD core, Duke, but that's an interesting thing for me to try. To see if it's a similar problem. So yeah, Duke, I don't know. Maybe it requires someone like you that can explain this more technically than I can in that GitHub chain. But I will leave that to you to decide that one. See the other response, though? The one where Sega Snatcher says, as far as I recall, the FM audio gain was reduced as a way to prevent distortion via the Genesis core, and I assume those changes were inherited in the Mega CD core as well. Okay, interesting. Perhaps an option to boost just the CD Red Book audio. Well, that's not gonna solve it. Oh wait, or no? That's, I don't know what that would solve. In fact, this game doesn't even use Red Book audio. It's all compressed. There's no, if you put this into a regular CD player, it's only one track. It's the data track. So, no, it's nothing to do with Red Book audio in this core that I can see. But I don't know. And then Birdie Bro took, I guess, my issue and linked it to this. It looks like at the bottom. Yeah, the second one. That's where I was saying that second response goes beyond my knowledge level. So, it's nothing that I can implement. It would require Sorglig or someone to implement. So, I don't know. That's as far as I can go with it. So, we do have another option. I could do this on the Genesis Mini. Just a little bit of a pain in the ass to go set that up. I haven't tried to use the Genesis Mini in like a year and a half for the Sega CD that I hacked into it. So we'd have to make sure the cores work properly. But yeah, that's basically it. Oh, and look, Gamers Uplink, you have perfect timing. Fashionably late as always. We've already moved on. Duke Donut says, I hope you're doing well, Gamers Uplink. You should follow Gamers Uplink too. Gamers Uplink's fun to watch, and for some reason he's been trying to excel at Mega Man X3 and is trying to draw me into that game. I haven't decided yet. Duke says it moved in the TurboGrafx CD core code from what Birdie Bro quotes to. And now here comes a whole bunch of information that I do not grasp. Interesting. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know how to properly explain it. Dark Max, come on, you want to play it. Maybe. Did Gamers Uplink beat it yet? I was a wreck last night if you tried to.
Now then, what brings you to my inner sanctum?
Zophar one high.
Pickles Wiggles, thank you so much for the 8 months. Your support of the realm and the domain is greatly appreciated. Enjoy the ad-free viewing emotes and yes, sub badges. I hope you're doing well. Setting 1x or 2x gain on CD, enabling boost as CD has for AD PCM audio. Oh, and a master boost of 1x, 2x, or 4x. Okay, so how do we get it implemented? How do we get it implemented is the question. How do I better explain what I'm trying to explain? Indeed, Pickles Wiggles, we're having a great night. Do I have a Sega CD game that uses all three of CD audio, ADPCM, and FM audio? Well, I have to think about that. Probably Popful Mail, Duke Donuts.
Now then, what brings you to my inner sanctum?
19 months, closing in on that 2-year mark. C.
Fuzzy Bane, thank you so much for the 19 months. Your support of the realm of the domain is greatly appreciated. Popful Mail has a couple of CD tracks, including the very introduction, the do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. By the way, Gamers Uplink, congrats on the 3-stream streak. I appreciate your support. And then it has, I'm almost positive it does FM audio for the majority of its levels because I downloaded the a VGM soundtrack for it, and the majority of them are in there, so I assume that's FM. Because the Sega CD had its own chip, right? The Genesis had a YM2612, but the Sega CD had one also, right? And they could actually work together, couldn't they? They could both output at the same time, I think. Melpez is 5 out of 5, more like 5 out of 7. I don't even understand the whole stream streak thing yet. I'm still trying to figure it out. But congrats to you as well, Melpo, on your 5 or 7 watch streak. Your support is appreciated. So maybe Popful Mail, Duke Donuts. But like most of the ones that have the problems, which is where there's a lot of speech, is mainly just whatever audio is compressed with the video. Like, I don't think it has anything else other than one going on. I've never heard of the Perfect 5.7. I don't think so. What's the Perfect 5.7? I have to look that up. Perfect 5.7. What is the origin if I'd give it a Perfect 5.7? There's a whole chain about this. What? To rate the movie Fight Club 5 out of 7? One question. He said it reflected his opinion of the movie as perfect, which led to a bunch of other times. What? I totally don't understand this. I don't understand it. Melpa, you're going to have to explain this to me. Some guy constantly messing with a guy on Facebook, and the guy said something was a perfect 5 out of 7. Is the guy that said it was a perfect 5 out of 7 is the one that was getting messed with, or was he messing with everyone else? What's up, Time Dog? Indeed, I have not only played Night Trap, but here's my original 1992 Sega CD Night Trap copy. Was the one of the first Sega CD games I ever played, along with Sherlock Holmes Consulting Detective. Now, Snatcher I played but never beat. I played it briefly. I thought I owned it a zillion years ago when it came out, there weren't a lot of copies of it, and I must have traded it in because I can't find it anymore, which drives me nuts because it's very valuable. Duke says what you would do now is respond to Swordglig and Birdie Bro. Indicate that the audio level is low on HDMI digital output compared to other cores on the same signal chain. Indicate that the fix Birdie Bro suggested in number 88 would be a viable solution for Sega CD as well. Okay. I'm going to do that. I'm going to copy this. I'm going to go into my Discord under suggestions, because if I don't do this, I'm totally going to forget it. Duke Donuts. There we go. Okay, now I can't forget. Thanks, Duke. You are the man, the myth, the legend, the Duke of the Donuts. How you doing, Kefka? It's always good to see you. You too, Time Dog. On Christmas Day, you played Sewer Shark and Double Switch. Yeah, I have Sewer Shark too. It took me a while, but I did beat that one. I also owned Double Switch. Again, I don't know what happened to it. I might or might not have traded in. Maybe I have to look for it. I got so many games I think still in my attic. But I don't think I ever beat Double Switch. Duke says my issue will likely get marked as duplicate and closed, and it will remind Sorglig and his company to look at number 88 again. I got it. Thanks, Duke. All right, we all ready? Here we go. The Mystified Murderers. Oh, crap. We're in the middle of an ad break. All right, I guess I should wait a minute. Oops. Damn it. I took too long. F! All right, we're going to give everyone a minute here. I hate to start in the middle of an ad break, especially a game like this. We're not going to know what's going on. Indeed. All right, well, why don't I just take what Duke said, and I'll just reply to the thingy. I'll do it now while we're waiting. Hey, just wanted to add that the audio level is low on HDMI digital output compared to other cores on the same signal chain. Also, Birdie Bro suggested a fix in issue number 88, add similar options to the TG16 core. Could this be... Fire. Wait! No! How are you going to fire at me when I'm trying to reply back to Sorglig's... Now I can't reply, Leper, thanks. Leper, you pirate cannoned me in the brain, causing me all this pain. Now I'm going to need some grog to lift up all the fog. But I live to fight another day, Mjordy. Duke says, you don't know their style guidelines for the GitHub issue tracker, but check if it's typical, permissible to add information of, I experienced this issue 2 on number 88 to make it more visible and increase its priority, but don't do this unless you know for sure it's something they want on the issue tracker. I am not certain of that, Duke Donuts. Leper says you figure you might as well be on the ad break. Yeah, that's fair. That's a good point. All right, so this is what I wrote, Duke. I wrote, hey, just wanted to add that the audio level is low on HDMI digital output compared to other cores on the same signal chain. Also, Birdie Bro suggested a fix in issue number 88, add similar options to the TG16 core. Could be a viable solution for the Sega CD as well? Question mark. Or could this be? Similar options to the Sega CD core for this one. Similar options to the TG16 core. This value as well. Okay, all right. So, Duke, tell me, does this look like an okay response here? This is what I was thinking of replying with. How does that look? Exactly, Melpo. Gameoue. Is that the hiragana or katakana for u in Japanese? Duke says, after reading number 88, I agree with Birdie Bro's assessment that this is a duplicate and this issue could be closed. Further discussion continue on number 88 if necessary. Okay. So, like, if I... Also, after reading number 88, I agree with Birdie Bruce that there's a duplicate and the issue could be closed and further discussion continue on number 88 if necessary. Alright, so, like this, Duke Donuts? Does this look okay? Don't worry, chat. We're about to start Sherlock Holmes, I promise. Wow. Talking about the Sega CD core's audio volume issues apparently is more popular than playing Dot Hack. We can just talk about this all night. Oh, dear. It's B-U-I. Like boy? Which is how V is rendered in Japanese? Buoy? Boy? Buoy? Buoy? How do you say that? Yeah, that's fine, Duke. Okay. Alright, I'm going to say that. Alright, I said the thing. The thing. Hey, it was smart. It knew issue number 88 had to be linked. So now I can actually click on it, and it just takes you to 88. I am... Well, maybe, yeah, I won't say anything on 88 right now. I'll wait for a reply. Alright. So there we go. It clarifies what Sorgley was suggesting, provides a clear resolution to this issue, and directs further discussion to 88 so you can provide updates there if they want them. It sounds good to me, Duke. Good to go. We have replied. The reply has been replied to. And it's time for the mystified murders. Here we go. Starting now. So now I'm going to get quiet so I can hear what's going on.
Society burglar strikes again. Series of burglaries. 6 over the period from June 2nd to June 17th. On July 2nd, the 7th occurred at the home of Sir Sanford Leeds. Cleopatra tiara stolen, it says. As in the other cases, no sign of extensive search by the thief, and only one piece of jewelry involved. Victims elsewhere at the time. Here's a complete list of the particulars, Holmes, if you'd care to read it.
I believe you'll find them in the study.
How do you do, gentlemen? I am Gerald Locke.
Please be seated, Mr. Locke. How can we be of service?
3 days ago, Guy Clarendon was found murdered at Halliday's. It's preposterous, but Miss Frances Nolan has been charged and is being detained at the criminal court, Old Bailey.
Frances Nolan. Ah, yes. Sister of Loretta Nolan. Only surviving heirs of Sir Malcolm Nolan, founder of the Aberdeen Navigation Company.
I seem to recall that Sir Malcolm and Lady Nolan were killed when some lunatic threw a bomb into their carriage. Seems to me that later I heard something about it being a case of mistaken identity. Wasn't one of their little offspring in the carriage with them at the time?
Yes, it was Loretta, Frances's sister. She was only 4. Miraculously, she was uninjured.
Mr. Locke, I've heard that you are a suitor for Miss Frances Nolan's hand, are you not?
Yes.
And was it not also true that she was being courted by Guy Clarendon?
Unfortunately, yes.
Have you any idea why Frances Nolan was charged with the crime?
Well, she was discovered over the body with a pistol in her hand.
That would do it.
But you don't understand. Francis is totally incapable of murder. Not even of a scoundrel such as Guy Clarendon.
Scoundrel? But he's from such blue blood. Also, if I'm not mistaken, he's an accomplished batsman for the West London Cricketers. A ranked fencer in international competition.
He was also a bit of a bounder, Watson.
What an understatement. Guy Clarendon was excessively fond of cards and strong drink. His father had all but disinherited him. I tried to tell Frances that Clarendon was no good, but to no avail. And now look at the mess she's in. Will you help?
Most certainly.
Most definitely. Who is this guy? This is Key? Something Key? Is that it? I heard like the last name of Key. It was hard to hear his first name. We'll call him Mr. Key. Mr. Key stated that he tried to tell Francis that Guy was no good. Relax, Guy. But she wouldn't listen. Oops. But she wouldn't listen. So Guy Clarendon was found murdered. Francis Nolan was found holding the gun. Mr. Key stated that he tried to tell Francis that Guy was no good, but she wouldn't listen. This took place on July 4th, 1888. It's just like B. Small vowel kana replaced the preceding consonant's default reading. So why is that oo? Gameo oo as opposed to V? How did the oo happen? I'm curious to know. I've never really understood that. Why they say Gameooer. Why oo? Where does oo come in from? Okay, let's go check this out. July 4th, 1888. That's this right here. So let's go read what we can read. See if there's anything juicy in here. On the 2nd July, blah, 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 that's nothing. On this, no. Marriages, no. No. Nah, no. Nope. Still nope. Hey, what's up, Gen X VR? We're being rated. I appreciate you, Gen X. What's up, Gen X VR? Welcome on in. Thanks for the raid. What were you playing tonight?
Now then, what brings you to my inner sanctum?
4 months already?
Mystic the Urge, thank you so much for 4 months of subscription love. Your support of the realm and the domain is greatly appreciated. Enjoy your ad-free viewing emotes and, yes, sub-badges. Oh, the oops extra A is just kana?
The only thing that I wish is that it was just like a completely different voice. You know, it's like,
Secure all
hey,
positions.
Kevin.
Here we go.
It's your birthday today.
Full ahead.
Hey,
Next
Margaret.
stop,
It's your
Zophar's
birthday.
domain.
Gen X VR also thank you for the follow and for joining the realm and the domain. Your support is greatly appreciated. What were you playing tonight? Anything good? Fire, escape extinguishers? Nah. Better safe than sorry? Personnel? Nope. Tomorrow look at the moon? FR.
You don't belong in this dimension,
FR?
Zophar.
Taters Games cheered 100 bits. Zerfert Sarfer Shaffer Zero for Zop Sop 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 Surfert Sarfer Shaffer Zero for Zerfert Sarfer Shaffer Zero for Zerfert Sarfer Shaffer Zero Fear.
Secure
Taters
all
Games, thank you for the
positions.
100 bits. Your
Here
support
we
of the realm and the
go.
domain is greatly appreciated.
Charge!
Full ahead. Next stop, Zophar's domain.
Brita Bordeaux, thank you so much for the follow. For joining the realm and the domain, your support is also greatly appreciated. You watched a hot turd called Extraterrestrial Visitors at Mystic the Urge's suggestion. Good job, Mystic the Urge. Good job. You're doing a great job. Well, I hope you enjoyed the massively hot turd. Sometimes you just got to watch a hot turd to appreciate the good ones, you know? Trade notices, breakfast in bed, chub locks. John Bull. Wait, what was that about John Bull? A real Jubilee game? Laughable cards? Still looking. There's nothing really in this paper that's interesting. Japanese village. Buy guns. Pheasants for Muse. You hope you enjoyed the massively... Dude, we need... Duke, you got to help me with something. You know things. How do I get an easy script on here so we can add quotes? Like, there's all these great quotes that people keep saying I say, and I don't have them saved anywhere. So, like, what's an easy way to have Nightbot add some kind of way to, like, do Zophar quotes? Like, I know they exist. I've seen them on other streams. I've just never really, thought about how to do it. There's got to be, like, an easy way, right? I use Nightbot, yeah. I mean, I have Stream Elements, too, but I really only use Nightbot for stuff. Do we have a cleavage sound effect yet? I feel like we do. I think it's cleaver, though. My weapon has a cleavage. Oh, my God. The cleaver has a duration, not the cleavage. Jesus Christ. Yeah, maybe that's what we do here. We just do sound effects. What's up, Fuzzy Bane? I hope you're doing well. I will take backdooring from Jazz's couch, or backseating rather. Not backdooring, backseating. Oh, that's it. Get a quote, add a quote. This is exactly what I wanted. Thanks, Duke. I'll add it. Nope, says right there. School bus. The master of the Sega CD, just not the master of volume, because I can't hear anything. Coaching season, 1888. Is it coaching season already? Cricket. Hunting dogs. Aha! Society burglar still at large. This has something to do with this. We should read this. After a month of jewelry burglaries from some of London's most fashionable homes, Scotland Yard reports little progress in the identification and apprehension of the so-called society burglar. We know this matters because Watson was reading something about this. The victim of the latest theft, Lady Leeds, has become so overwrought by the invasion of her bedroom by this unknown man and by the loss of her prized diamond tiara. We got to write that down. Hold on. We got to write that down. This sounds very important. All right. Society burglar. Burglar. I sharded. Lady Leeds had her tiara stolen from her bedroom. Sorry, it was a diamond tiara. Her diamond tiara. That she has been hospitalized at the suggestion of her physician. Wow. Although any impetus to attach the increasing problem of crime should be welcomed, it is unfortunate that the impetus comes more strongly when the class of victims is expanded. I don't know what any of that shit means in the last paragraph. What's up, a Canuck named Tex? Oh, we are doing things. You're enjoying your holiday? Oh, happy holiday, Fuzzy Bane. Which holiday is it for you in the UK? Duke says, have somebody double check that it's good safe. You just returned the most shallow reading of results. Gotcha. Sometimes you just gotta shart, Melpo. You know? To the editor of the Times, surely it is time that some effectual steps should be taken to curb the ambition of our burglars, be they society or not, and if necessary by legislation. Prevention is better than cure, and I agree with those who think that a fox terrier in the house is the best means of giving the alarm. Is that like alarm? But something more than a dog is required. I would suggest the cat. Besides penal servitude in all cases of burglary, whether the burglars succeed in carrying away anything or not, the cat, in the sense in which I refer to it, has been most successful as a deterrent in cases of personal robbery with violence and other crimes. Why should it not be at once applied to our burglars whose calling necessarily involves personal violence? Your obedient servant, HTB. What the heck? What cat? What is the cat? The cat. What is he talking about? Does anybody know what's talking about? Oh, right. You're on holiday. Yes, you're on holiday. Well, enjoy your holiday. Why did I read that differently? Let me go up again. You said you're enjoying your holiday. Right. Yeah, I guess I would have expected you to say, I'm on holiday. That's how I hear it. Like in British TV and films. We're on holiday. So when you said you're enjoying your holiday, I read it as like, it's a holiday that you're enjoying, like how I enjoy Hanukkah. But now I understand. You're on holiday. It all makes sense. The cat. It's the Sir Boom. Indeed, Gamers Uplink. You will begin my game, which is your nightmare, which is Virtual Highlight. So when are you playing that? Tomorrow, you said? 7:30 Eastern Standard Time? Sounds good. Publications, 9th edition. Nothing important here. Home rule. God in Silence, Messers.
Is my voice on TV?
Thank you, Dark Mix, for the submit a sound. We'll get that for you over the next week. Something more about
Get a
home
wizard
rule,
hat.
Egypt.
Do I look like Rig to you?
Do I look like Zophar to you? Well, I am. You'll take up virtual highlight again when I take up Mega Man.
Has a cleavage. Oh my god.
Oh, here's more
Cleaver
stuff.
Has a duration, not the cleavage. Jeez, great.
Get a pirate hat. Do I look like Zophar to you?
Do I look like Rig to you? Well, he ain't here. Society burglar take climbs to 14,000. That elusive and so far successful burglar, commonly known as the Society burglar,
Get a wizard hat. Do I look like Rig to you?
has gotten away with jewels valued at 14,000. Oh no.
Zophar?
We better write that in here. Okay, so Society burglar. We also know.
Go to heaven. Go to heaven. Go to heaven.
So let's go here. Let's do that.
It's a fake.
No, it's real. 14,000. Or no, it wouldn't be dollars, right? How do you type in pounds? It's like L or something, right? That would have been pounds.
Pooping.
Fuzzy Bane, can you type in the pound sign? Well, I know nowadays it's like euros, but how do you... Oh, Duke. I got to get the pound sign in here. How do I get the pound sign? All right, I'll give you a rim shot for that. Just for you, Duke. There we go. Thank you, Fuzzy Bane. See, I knew Fuzzy Bane would have it. Oh, we're getting... Yeah, that is a pound sign. I can't disagree with you there, Balinor. Indeed, that is a pound sign. That's a yen, Duke. That's yen, right? All right, here we go. Pound. So we have 14,000 pounds across 7 victims. Okay. By the 7 victims to date, speculation continues as to the identity of the burglar, who seems to be acquainted with the various and sometimes ingenious hiding places of his victims' jewels. The other striking aspects of the modus operandi are the taking of only one select piece each time and the occurrence of all thefts when the victims are not at home. They take one piece and always when victim is not home. I feel like that can go with this part of it.
Indeed.
This right here. Okay, so now we have provided for the interest of our readers a list of the various jewels stolen and their values. And here they all are. So, 2 June R. Baker.
Are you serious? Did you see that? I didn't even know that was a
Diamond.
way you could die. Did you just see how I just died?
Stick pin. And that's worth 500.
He's dead, Jim.
Indeed. 5 June. Hardened.
We made a mistake. Made a mistake. We made a mistake.
Pound is a hashtag, not a pound sign. See, I called it a pound sign in the 80s and 90s. See, I'm with Vivictus. Or Vivictus. Oh my god.
Bada bang boom.
Emerald bracelet. Emerald bracelet.
Your call cannot be completed as dialed. Please check the number and dial
1500.
again.
8 June. Richmond.
Jim!
Damn it, F. Diamond bracelet. Is he escalating or she? He or
Secure all
she?
positions. Here we go.
2000. Now
Full
11th
ahead.
of June.
Next stop, Zophar's domain.
Play-in, thank you so much for the follow and for joining the realm of the domain. Your support is greatly appreciated. So wait, on the 11th of June,
We ain't found shit.
it's B. Lewin.
Wow, this game has an annoying sound. It does. It does. I wonder who's going to redeem that as a sound effect.
Ruby Earrings. What's up, Casual here? There's another streamer you should all follow who's awesome. Go follow Casual. What are you up to, Casual? It was good to see you earlier. From the Rig Raid. Ruby Earrings.
It really
1,000.
Lana's ass.
And then 15th of June. June. Dearth. Diamond necklace. 3,000. And then 17th of June was Ashley Judd. Diamond
For only a few
pendant.
pieces of 8, you can throw mud at people you hate.
1,000. And then 1st of July. Exactly. Leeds. Diamond Tiara. This is the newest one. Diamond Tiara. And that was 5,000 pounds. Now, to make sure that I don't snub Fuzzy Bane here, we have to make sure that we put the correct currency symbol in, which would not have been euros back then anyway. It's still pounds now, right? So there you go. So I'm going to say where we don't need this information anymore. And I'm going to put in parentheses here, bedroom. Not bedroom, bedroom. Okay. So we got all that. Chilling after food. How am I? I'm doing well. I'm doing well, Casual Hero. We're just playing some Sherlock Holmes Consulting Detective for the Sega CD. Right here. Oops. Okay, so we got that information. Killed by lightning, fatal railway accident, foreign news, Oldenburg jewels stolen. I don't know if that's helpful. The Casual Hero. Thank you so much for the $5 donation. Your support of the realm and the domain is greatly appreciated. Very, very kind of you. Never got the euro in the UK. Yeah, I figured that was the case. I remember there was a whole thing about that with, you know, I was following that a few years back. I'm ignoring your top tier Forex jokes. Wait, where were your top? I don't get it. I don't understand it. I don't even know how to read that. You're gonna have to explain it. I'm too low tier to understand your Forex jokes. You'll have to explain it to me. I don't know. Are these jewels useful? Do we want to know this? Helmut Schnitzler and Thomas O'Neill. I don't know if this is helpful. The jewels of the Duchess of Oldenburg. From Residence Schloss. The fire had been caused by a smoke bomb.
Do I look like I know what a JPEG is? I just want a picture of a goddamn hot dog.
Dude, there is some kind of case that has something to do with Philadelphia. Do you see all this? There's all this information about Philadelphia in these newspapers. So there's got to be some kind of case that's relevant to that, but not this one. Wallenden's body. Okay, so that's no longer useful. Okay, well, that's probably all the information we're going to get on the newspaper. So let's get out of this. And I guess let's start gathering some information. We can start with Henry Ellis. What's up, Junkyard Dave? Look at all these great streamers. You got to go follow Junkyard Dave when you're all done following Casual Hero. You'll have a lot of fun over there. We love our retro here. We love our speedrunning here. We love our casual here. Duke Donut says to go look at the Vietnamese currency graphic. All right, I'm looking at the Vietnamese currency graphic. And now I'm going to look at what you pasted. Do you know what currency symbol that is? All right, so that's Vietnam. So get GLC? I still don't get it. C is a lesser known currency from Costa Rica, the colon. There's a Philadelphia somewhere in Europe. Oh, I didn't realize that. The Vietnamese dong? So that's the dong. Okay. I still don't get it. You know, it's getting destroyed the more you explain it. All right, let's go talk to Henry Ellis. Ellis is off in Turkey, of all places. All right. Well, we're not going to get any information from him. How about Edward Hall? Edward Hall told us there was no way the guards would let us near Francis Nolan. All right, we're going to have to go and see. Dong, pounds, colon. Oh. God damn it. Do I have to put a tag on the stream now? All right, I'll give you a double rim shot for that one. It was still funny, even though you had to explain it. It still was funny in the end.
I understand that Wilfred
Nice.
Robards is considering taking Miss Nolan's case. He might be able to help you. If you'd like, I can arrange an interview with Frances Nolan. She's being held downstairs, you know.
We might be able to help you, Miss Nolan, if you could just remember what happened that night in Mr. Clarendon's room.
Well, that's just the trouble. I can't remember anything except seeing Guy's body across the room and the pistol in my hand.
Where did you get the pistol?
I've no idea, though the police assure me it's mine. I didn't know Guy was at Halliday's. I've never even been there before. And why would I shoot him anyway? We loved each other.
There, Miss Nolan. Stiff upper lip.
Thank you.
Miss Nolan, what is the last thing you remember before the room at Halliday's?
Oh, hot cocoa in bed.
Beg your pardon?
Oh, well, every night before I retire, my maid, Grace, brings me a cup of hot cocoa.
How nice.
Yes.
And before that?
Well, before that, I dine with Dr. Trevelyan, as I do every Sunday evening. My sister Loretta is under his care. The doctor and I have become good friends over the years. He left at 10 o'clock, as he always does.
May I ask, where did you first meet Guy Clarendon?
The country estate of Cornelius Oldwine, in March. My sister Loretta was attending a party there. I suppose things got a bit out of hand because it seems she dived into a fountain. She caught pneumonia and I had to go and fetch her home. Guy was also at the estate, and that's where we met.
And he immediately began paying court to you?
Oh, heavens, no. Nobody seems to take much notice of me. I suppose that comes from having such a wildly attractive sister. That's why I was so surprised when he called a few weeks later. We began seeing a great deal of each other. We went on long carriage rides, had picnic lunches. It was all quite lovely. And then on the 5th of June, he declared his love for me and asked for my hand in marriage. I was so happy. I couldn't have killed him.
How do you explain your presence at Halliday's?
Well, I can't. It's just like the other 2 times.
You've had memory losses before.
Yes, twice in the past month. The first time I found myself atop a horse in Hyde Park, with no recollection of how I got there. The last thing I remember was having lunch with my sister Loretta. And there I was, atop a chestnut mare.
How curious.
The funny thing is, I'm terrified of horses.
You mentioned there was a second time.
Yes, a few days later, I met with my solicitor, Hiram Davenport. Then the next thing I know, I'm at the Newgate Street station. I consulted my physician, Dr. Mason, and he was quite as baffled as I was.
One last question, if you will. What is your relationship with Gerald Locke?
Oh, Jerry. He's a dear old friend. Though I'm afraid we had a falling out of late. He said some very unkind words about Guy.
Okay, so the audio problem with this core is rearing its ugly head for me because I know you should all be able to hear that because I have the volume pumped for you. I had a lot of trouble hearing a lot of that. So here's what I know. And Chad, I would appreciate if you could give me more information from what you heard. So Frances Nolan can't remember anything. She loved Guy Clarendon. Why would she shoot him? She awoke holding the pistol. She last remembered hot cocoa in bed. People don't really notice Frances. Then one day she met Guy at a party. She was happy she couldn't have killed him. It's just like the other 2 times. Once she found herself on top of a horse with no recollection of how she got there. She was having tea with her sister and then all of a sudden on top of a horse. The second time she was meeting with someone, couldn't hear the name, and then she found herself at a train station. Did anyone take notice who Frances said, like when she was having the blackouts, like where was she? Like when she was holding the pistol, she last remembered hot cocoa in bed. Who gave her the hot cocoa? Did she say? And then when she was at the train station that second time, who was she meeting with before that? I feel like this is incredibly valuable information. I just couldn't hear it. Junkyard Dog, Dave, wow, Junkyard Dog, what is this, wrestling? Junkyard Dave said, I never knew this existed, but I've always wanted to play some of the Sherlock Holmes games anyway, more so the modernish ones. Yeah, so this actually goes back even further than 1992 because the Sega CD version came out in 1992. I believe the PC version was 1991, and this is actually all based on a board game from the 80s, kind of a board game, like a text game called Sherlock Holmes Consulting Detective, of which I had a chance to buy it on Amazon, and I didn't take it. Instead, I bought the sequel. I wish I had bought the original. Steam triggers her blackouts. What's up, Jerforin? So I'm gonna put in here. Draforin from chat speculates that Steam is causing blackouts. There. But do we know who she was meeting with that second time? So it's happened 3 times. The very first time, she was having tea with her sister. Then she found herself on top of a horse with no recollection how she got there. The second time, she was meeting with somebody. When you open Steam, you lose loads. Oh, haha. All right, I'll give you a rim shot for that. Oh, boy. Everybody's rim shotting tonight. Yeah, I don't think Steam is causing her blackouts. But no, I couldn't tell what she said. Like, the second time who she was meeting with. I'm going to turn off my dehumidifier to remove some white noise from the room. I will be right back. I have a hard gerb. Oh, God. Oh, my God. We're going to have to change this to a Z-rated stream. It's not even X-rated. It's Z-rated now. All right, so does anybody have anything they want to add before we move to the next one? Chat is super... Oh, my God. I should just add a button to my stream deck here and just constantly rim shot everything.
The bees! The bees! The bees!
Exactly, Melpo. You would know. You would understand. You created that sound effect, so you would know. See, I still remember. All right, I might have to replay the scene if nobody knows, so we're gonna replay it one more time, and I'm gonna listen intently.
I understand that Wilfred Robards is considering taking Miss Nolan's case. He might be able to help you. If you'd like, I can arrange an interview with Frances Nolan. She's being held downstairs, you know.
We might be able to help you, Miss Nolan, if you could just remember what happened that night in Mr. Clarendon's room.
Well, that's just the trouble. I can't remember anything except seeing Guy's body across the room and the pistol in my hand.
Where did you get the pistol?
I've no idea, though the police assure me it's mine. I didn't know Guy was at Halliday's. I've never even been there before. And why would I shoot him anyway? We loved each other.
There, Miss Nolan. Stiff upper lip.
Thank you.
Miss Nolan, what is the last thing you remember before the room at Halliday's?
Oh, hot cocoa in bed.
I beg your pardon?
Oh, well, every night before I retire, my maid, Grace, brings me a cup of hot cocoa.
How nice.
Yes.
And before that?
Well, before that, I dine with Dr. Trevelyan, as I do every Sunday evening. My sister, Loretta, is under his care. The doctor and I have become good friends over the years. He left at 10 o'clock, as he always does.
May I ask, where did you first meet Guy Clarendon?
At the country estate of Cornelius Oldwine, in March. My sister, Loretta, was attending a party there. I suppose things got a bit out of hand because it seems she dived into a fountain. She caught pneumonia and I had to go and fetch her home. Guy was also at the estate, and that's where we met.
And he immediately began paying court to you?
Oh, heavens, no. Nobody seems to take much notice of me. I suppose that comes from having such a wildly attractive sister. That's why I was so surprised when he called a few weeks later. We began seeing a great deal of each other. We went on long carriage rides, had picnic lunches. It was all quite lovely. And then on the 5th of June, he declared his love for me and asked for my hand in marriage. I was so happy. I couldn't have killed him.
How do you explain your presence at Halliday's?
Well, I can't. It's just like the other 2 times.
You've had memory losses before.
Yes, twice in the past month. The first time I found myself atop a horse in Hyde Park, with no recollection of how I got there. The last thing I remember was having lunch with my sister Loretta. Then there I was, atop a chestnut mare.
How peculiar.
The funny thing is, I'm terrified of horses.
You mentioned there was a second time.
Yes, a few days later, I met with my solicitor, Hiram Davenport. Then the next thing I know, I'm at the Newgate Street station. I consulted my physician, Dr. Mason, and he was quite as baffled as I was.
Davenport?
One last question, if you will. What is your relationship with Gerald Locke?
Oh, Jerry. He's a dear old friend. Though I'm afraid we had a falling out of late. He said some very unkind words about Guy.
So, Francis Nolan had fallen out with Gerald Locke. I called him Key. I get it, Key Locke. Mr. Key. Francis Nolan had fallen out with Gerald Locke. He said unkind things about Guy. Well, I guess we'll find out if those unkind things were the case or not, won't we? All right, so we learn more watching it the second time. I can hear it better now that I have the dehumidifier off. Kind of a clever loading screen. Yeah, this game is clever in many ways. The maid, the doctor, the train conductor. It was the butler. The butler did it. There is no sister. It's dissociative personality disorder. I mean, any of this is possible. But remember, we do not want to twist facts to suit theories, rather than form theories to suit facts. That's what Sherlock Holmes would have said anyway. Oh, I'm out of angel tears. I'm going to have to grab some more in a minute. All right, so we got a lot more information there. Return to game. So if we try to add Francis Nolan, who's in the jail right now, right? But if we try to put her in the book here, will we get... And then there's her sister, too. We should probably add both, right? We don't have to add them. We can just look at them here. Let's go to them this way. Let's see.
Tell us, who was at home on the evening of the 1st?
Well, just Miss Frances, sir. Oh, yes, of course, and Dr. Trevelyan.
What time did the doctor take his leave?
Oh, let me think. It must have been 10 o'clock, because that's what time he always leaves.
What did Miss Frances do after her guest left?
What she does every evening, sir. Well, she asked for a cup of hot cocoa, which I brought her straight away. Then she read for a bit by the fire. Later, when I went up to bed, I passed her room, and the light went out.
What time would that have been?
Oh, let me see. Oh, I know it was 11:30, because the clock chimed. Then I went to sleep. Later, I was awakened in the middle of the night, right in the midst of the most peculiar dream. You see, I was barefoot and trying to buy a pair of shoes, and...
Fascinating as all this is, could we get back to what it was that awakened you?
Oh, yes, of course. Well, it was something that I heard, or thought I heard. I listened for a bit, but that was the end of it, so I went to sleep again. Later, I awoke at 7:30. I always wake up at 7:30, except, of course, on Sundays when I sleep until 8. As usual, I began to prepare Miss Frances's breakfast. I had no sooner gotten to the kitchen when I heard the front door open and close. Well, I ran to the front window and peeked out, and there was Miss Frances walking down the street.
And why do you deem that so unusual?
Well, she never leaves before she's eaten one of my currant buns.
Currant buns? One of the maid's currant buns? Somebody help me out here. What's a currant bun? Where's Fuzzybane? Fuzzybane, is that a thing? What's a currant bun? Am I saying this right? Oh my god, I don't know what's going on. We missed something really important that she said too. About the timing. She says that Dr. Trevelyan left around 12, but it probably wasn't 12 because then she said it was 11:30 because the clock chimed when Frances went to sleep. Which means I heard that wrong. Currant is a fruit. So a currant bun? Like this? Like a fruit bun? What about the maid's buns? I don't think she was talking about her buns that way. J. Rock Cooney, how you doing? I feel like we have to watch it one more time again. Ugh.
Tell us, who was at home on the evening of the 1st?
Well, just Miss Frances.
A seedless raisin grown
Oh,
chiefly
yes,
in the
of
Eastern
course, and
Mediterranean.
Dr. Trevelyan.
Now I know.
What time did the doctor take his leave?
Oh, let me think. It must have been 10 o'clock, because that's what time he always leaves.
10
What did
o'clock.
Miss Frances do after her guest left?
What she does every evening, sir. Well, she asked for a cup of hot cocoa, which I brought her straight away.
Okay.
Then she read for a bit by the fire. Later, when I went up to bed, I passed her room, and the light went out.
What time would that
All right, I think we have all the information we need here. That was the only thing I didn't hear. Okay, so we learned a lot here. We need to try to find Dr. Trevelyan now. And talk to him. Dr. Percy Trevelyan. We should probably fix the name here. Trevelyan. Like that. Alright, let's go talk to him. Sorry, Holmes. Didn't have the time to dig into this one. Why not? What's the file on him say? Dr. Percy Trevelyan was a practicing physician at the Mesmer Braid Institute from 1878 to 1886, where he specialized in treating neurosis through hypnosis. He currently conducts a private practice close to his home on Brook Street. Ooh. You're on the phone right now, so it takes a longer time. Oh, it's all good, Fuzzy Bane. I appreciate you. All right, let's go see what Dr. Trevelyan has to say.
Doctor, we understand that you dined with Frances Nolan on the evening of July 1st.
Yes, that is correct. We dine every Sunday. Her sister Loretta has been under my care for some 10 years. First at the Mesmer Braid Institute and then in private practice.
Without breaching physician-patient protocol, would you mind telling us the nature of her illness?
She never quite recovered from the overwhelming trauma of watching her parents being blown to bits.
I quite understand.
As is often the case with young orphans, they tend to create fantasies about their parents. Miss Loretta Nolan truly believes that her father was the King of England, making her a princess.
Do you think her unconventional behavior stems from that fantasy?
Absolutely. As a princess, she believes she can do no wrong. I must say that she's worlds apart from her sister Frances.
Do you know Frances Nolan well?
Yes, rather. Through my treatment of her sister, I've known her for years. Let me say that it is difficult to believe that Miss Frances is capable of murder. She has a quiet, unassuming personality. An act of such direct confrontation would not be at all in keeping with her character.
Were Loretta and Frances close?
I know without a doubt that Miss Frances loves and cares for her sister almost as a parent would a child. Miss Loretta, well, she loves her sister as much as she is capable of love.
So, her sister has some problems. So, let's see, what do we learn here? Exactly. Oh, wow, we are already running out of roomy room here. First things first, let me tidy up the notes so you can, like that, there. And then we can just kind of scroll through them like this.
You return to Sherlock
Yeah, that's
part of
better.
our negotiations nor our agreement, so I must do nothing.
Yar, straw sometimes streams. Great to see ye. Thanks so much for be redeeming the piratey hat. This chair continues to be high, says I, but whilst 'tis true that my debauchery was my way of compensating, the rum may always be gone, and I may be the worst pirate ye ever heard of. Ye ever heard of me? I saw this plot on an episode of Matlock. The sound was off, but I think I got the gist of it. Those silly orphans. All right, so we learned the following. That Dr. Trevelyan's been treating Loretta Nolan for 10 years. Oh, excuse me. Ugh. She watched her parents murdered. Loretta believed her father was the King of England, making her a princess. She believed she could do no wrong. It's difficult to believe that Frances is capable of murder. Frances loved and cared for her sister like a parent would a child. Loretta loves her sister as much as she.
But it comes with a free Frogut.
That's good.
The Frogut is also cursed.
That's bad.
But you get your choice of topping. So, I don't know. I feel like there's a good chance that Loretta is really not good for her sister, based on what he just said. If she believes that she's a princess and her father is the King of England, then and she's been seeing this person for 10 years because of that, and that she never does any wrong, I don't know what she is capable of. So I'm already not trusting the sister. Let's go meet the sister and see what we think of her. We're gonna meet the sistery sister. Doodle doodle do freaking do. Loretta Nolan, we will meet her. Don't know if it amounts to much, but we wager this dame is a bit off her rocker. Oh my god. If you heard the way she laughed, you wouldn't doubt it.
Francis and Loretta Nolan are the only surviving heirs of Sir Malcolm Nolan, founder of the Aberdeen Navigation Company. On November 18, 1868, their parents, Sir Malcolm and Lady Nolan, were killed when an avowed anarchist, Zagreb Jablinski, hurled a bomb into their carriage. Oh, my. All right, let's go find out. An evil stepsister? How
Enter
innovative.
and be recognized.
Oh, my God.
Oh, you don't wish to play Her Majesty.
Now we know.
And knowing is half the battle.
You do not seem
Exactly.
particularly disturbed by the recent turn of events, Miss Nolan.
Each of us grieves in his own way, Mr. Holmes.
It must be difficult for you to face the possibility that your own sister may have killed your dearest chum.
Hope you're well, Reg.
Guy was fun to be with. And as for Frances, I love her dearly, but, well, it's funny to think Miss Right and Proper has finally gotten herself into a bit of a jam.
What?
Miss Nolan, may I ask, when was the last time you saw Guy Clarendon?
Let me think. I believe it was the Richmond's party last Thursday. Yes, I'm sure of it. God, we did cut it up a bit there.
And after the party?
We did not go home together, if that's what you're implying. That would have broken Frances's heart. She was head over heels for Guy, you know. She had some foolish notion that he was going to marry her. Not that someone like him ever would. But I do recall her saying, and it might have been the night of his death, that she was going to have a talk with him about their future.
Francis was going to have a talk with Guy about, their future. Hold on one second, chat. I want to fix something here. There we go. That's better. Yeah, I just want to make sure you can actually see what I'm typing. So, King of APOC, how you doing? You never understood why people complain about this game. Did people complain about it? It came free with the system, and it did come with Sophie's. That's right. It came with, so mine came with Sherlock Holmes. It came with the 4-in-1, which was Streets of Rage, Revenge of Shinobi, Columns, Golden Axe. It came with Soul Feast, which is over there. It came with an audio CD, and it came with Rock Paintings, which was that awesome karaoke CD plus G stuff, where I learned all about Information Society. And I hope you're well, King of APOC. Reg is doing well, trying out House Flipper on Xbox, doing the whole Power Wash Simulator thing. Nice. Jaforan says, how did the woman who killed the man get out of jail and dress up like a different person? No, that's her sister. The woman who killed the man... Well, no. Let me rephrase that. We don't know for sure, but Frances Nolan was charged with killing Guy Clarendon. She's in the jail. Whereas her sister, Loretta Nolan, thinks she's the queen, or thinks she's the princess of England or something. I don't know. In there, it didn't seem like she thought that. She thought that it seems like she wishes she was, but she even said you don't want to play dress up. So, I don't know. I don't trust her at all, though. And she thinks it's funny that her sister was charged with murder, so because it was an FMV game. Well, you know, FMV got a bad rap, but I thought a lot of them were good. This one I thought was good. Night Trap was fun. Dracula Unleashed I thought was awesome. There were a lot, you know, not everything was, crisscross make my video. Not everything was that. Or Corpse Killer. Allegedly, indeed. All right, so let's return to the game. Can we get more information, you think, from Gerald Locke? Let's see. See if we can get more information from Gerald Locke. We didn't think we ought to disturb him. There was so much boo-hooing coming from behind his door. A clerk at Finsterwald's florist and the suitor for the hand of Francis Nolan. Oh, so he wants to... okay, I get it now. Okay.
We have just a few more questions for you, Mr. Locke, if you don't mind.
Of course not. Anything to help Francis.
We were wondering if you could shed some light on Miss Frances' relationship with Guy Clarendon.
He was only after her money. I tried to tell Frances as much, but she wouldn't hear of it. We had a bit of a row over it. I've been quite upset about the whole thing.
Upset enough to commit murder?
What an outrageous accusation.
Was any question, Mr. Locke?
Preposterous. Besides, I've been on holiday all week, playing cribbage at the annual tournament up at Leeds.
Sounds positively riveting.
Oh, it was.
You want to hear something crazy, chap? Fuzzy Bane's going to crush me for this. I know about the term R-O-W. I always thought it was pronounced row. Like, I would read it like, oh, we're having a bit of a row. But it's not row, it's row. And I never knew that before. Riveting! Reg says, you seem to recall the Sherlock Holmes game I'm playing also being launched out for TurboGrafx CD. It very well might have been. It was also on PC. But I first played it in 1992 for the Sega CD. Yep, I always thought it was row. See, I can't pronounce anything. I'm terrible with pronunciations. I really am. It's terrible. Having a bit of a row. But he was on holiday at Leeds playing cribbage. So, the game is afoot, chat. The game is afoot. It's not a hand or a toe, it's a foot. Sega CD is indeed wildly its own thing. See, Fuzzy Bane understands. Alright, I don't want to have a row or a row. If the game is afoot, it sure stinks. Oh, God. Alright, let's go see if we can go to Leeds and get an alibi there. Is Sir Sanford Leeds the Leeds he's talking about? No. How do we know he was really playing cribbage? How do we validate that? Is there a way to validate that? I don't think there is. What about Guy Clarendon himself? Can we go there and find information out? Let's see. The butler told us the old man's son...
I like peanut butter, creamy peanut butter, chunky peanut butter too.
Ooh! Gotta have that chunky peanut butter. The butler told us the old man's son only came around when he needed money. Also said a scar-faced ruffian was hanging about. A scar-faced ruffian. Interesting. The son of Sir Francis Clarendon. You forgot to tell me about that hardware you were working on earlier. Yeah, you should have, but you didn't. You lost your chance. So Shredder did it. The game is a Foot Clan. What's up, Peter Steves? Indeed, we are playing some Sherlock Holmes Consulting Detective for the Sega CD. What's up, Suntop Kinseeker? I hope you're doing well. Everybody's coming back for Sherlock Holmes. Do we have to just put .hack to bed once and for all? I feel like every time I even say the word .hack, hundreds of people run the other direction. Why do we hate that game so much? I understand it's not super retro like Sherlock Holmes, but is .hack that bad? Do we need to take a poll and say is .hack that bad of a game? It can't be that bad. Maybe it is that bad. Can you imagine getting a PC with 40 physical CPU cores and 128 gigs of RAM for $750? A PC? Sure. As long as it's not made by Apple. You got to add a 0 to that number if it's made by Apple. When are we going to play .//Holmes? Exactly, Adrian Bauer. You are not unwell, other than suffering migraines. I'm sorry, Son of Kinseeker. I am also a fellow migraine sufferer. I really feel badly. But this is the perfect game if you're going to listen to a game when you have a migraine. It's very calming and soothing. It doesn't have anything loud. There's nothing bright or flashing. And when I'm not going, it's a pretty calm stream. About this big. Because if they're under 2 gigahertz, you wouldn't personally want it. And now my 10-core Apple M1 seems so measly in comparison. But that's okay, because it does what I need it to do, so I'm happy. But yeah, I feel like .hack is just, I don't know. If you play it, it's an enjoyable game. It is fun to play. It just gets repetitive. But I can totally understand if maybe it's not so exciting to watch. Whereas Sherlock Holmes, you get to be in on the mystery with me. I honestly am not 100%. The only one I really remembered really well, chat, of the Sherlock Holmes Consulting Detective Volume 1 was The Mummy's Curse. I knew it was Philip Travis. This one I don't remember as well, but I'm telling you right now, I am strongly suspecting that sister is not all there, and I don't trust her, and I think she might have had something to do with this. So I'm saying right now, Loretta Nolan has something to do with something. I just don't know what yet. All right, let's go see Guy Clarendon. Twitch thought you were hacking, Melpa. Wait, what happened?
This is a difficult thing for a man to say about his only son. But Guy was a wastrel and a ne'er-do-well. Only a short month or so ago, I gave him £5,000 and told him that was the last he'd see of my money. I'd hoped the shock would bring the boy around, make him realize he had to settle down, instead of wasting his life on gambling and gallivanting around with that wild woman.
Which wild woman was that?
Loretta Nolan, of course.
You mentioned gambling, Sir Francis. Have you any idea with whom he gambled or who might have wanted to kill him?
I wish I did. He told us nothing. He only came around when he needed money. And when I told him there'd be no more, we never saw him. Just about broke his mother's heart. There, Gertie. We still have one another.
What? Did you just say what I think he said?
I've something you ought to know about Master Guy. One morning, rather early, about 4 or 5 weeks ago, I heard a terrible clatter downstairs.
He totally said
I came
that.
down to investigate. It was Master Guy just coming home. He was in a terrible state, all battered and bruised, with a fresh cut on his forehead. I asked him who did it to him, and he wouldn't say. I think he was afraid for his life.
Dun, 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 dun. Butler thinks he was afraid for his life. Okay, so Sir Francis said that he only came around when he wanted money. He broke his mother's heart, and when he heard her crying, he says, There, Gerda, we still have one another. His son is dead. Whoa, shit. Butler said that Clarendon was all battered and bruised with a fresh cut on his forehead and thinks he was afraid for his life, but he wouldn't say who would do it. He put all his quid on the old Bobby Dazzler, innit? Oh, God. That's much less bad than... It's still horrible. That's horrible. Oh, my God. Okay, so I'm not really sure, but Guy Clarendon doesn't seem like a good dude at all. FMB's great, isn't it? We can have one another. We can have one another. Anyways. Okay. So now what? Should we talk to our contacts a little bit deeper? So I'm going to make a few points here. Zophar's observations. No. Zophar's speculations. That's better. Loretta Nolan is untrustworthy, and I think she had something to do with this. And Guy Clarendon, the victim, seems shady. That's what I think. He seems very shady. He always came around for money. He was found beat up one day. So he was probably a bad dude. One child gone. Just have a second one. No big deal. This was the late 1800s after all. I can always start again. What's another 17 more years? All right. Let's continue on. Let's go see what Quentin Hogg has to say about it. Hogg says to tell you you're wasting your time on this one. The murder is already behind bars. Well, let's go see him in person.
Well, the Clarendon murders look fairly open and shut, if you ask me. Not your typical murderers, I admit, but there you have it.
Okay, that was useless. Quentin Hogg thinks Francis did it. Not helpful. Thanks, Quentin Hogg, for not being helpful. All right, what about Inspector Lestrade, who's usually incredibly unhelpful? The inspector is sure that Francis Nolan did the nasty deed.
Why even trouble yourself with this one, Holmes? You believe Francis Nolan to be guilty? Guilty as a cat would swallow a canary. And on what do you base that brilliant deduction? Look, Frances Nolan claims not to have known that Clarendon was residing at Halliday's. Yet she proceeded directly to his room where she shot the bloke. She claims not to have owned a gun. Yet the gun found in her hand was purchased at S. Goff and the receipt had her name on it, for Christ's sake. No, that little lady will never see the light of day again.
He was actually very helpful. He was very helpful. That might be the only time ever Lestrada's helpful. Look what he just told us. We now know that she purchased the gun from S. Goffs. That's what I think he said, S. Goffs. Imagine going to meet someone in real life where they just say one sentence like Hogg did, right? It's open and shut, Holmes. Boom. Sorry, ma'am. No. That's very Clockwork Orange of you, Dick Danza. I actually have to run to the bathroom real quick, chat, so please don't change that channel, chat. Zophar's Realm will be right back.
Oh, hello. This is Mick Foley, World Wrestling Federation champion. I just wanted to welcome all of you to Zophar's Realm. I hear he's got a lot of cool cats coming and going to play some retro game for you. Bang, bang! We love it. I love it. And I want to thank you and welcome you. Mr. Sacco wants to welcome you too. Have a nice day.
Yes! Yes! He did it! I did it!
I just wanted to welcome all of you to Zophar's Realm.
Chris, this fight's tough. Let me tell you a good strategy. Yes, here's the strategy. Everybody ready? This is it. Watch. See the strategy? It's good. It's a good strategy. Good strategy. Yeah, mash that button, yeah.
I can't do it.
Hell with the game. This is more fun. Who needs a game?
Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live.
Is he gonna die? Oh no. Well, I'll take over. Alright, guys. I got.
Good night, everybody.
He's gone. Alright. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Retro Gaming. My name is Andrew. It's good to see you guys. You can call me Rig. We're gonna play some Shine the Holy Ark.
See, when I was a kid, and this is not a knock, by the way, on my mom. I love my mom. But my mom made 20,000 different forms of chicken. So after a while, like, I think this is why I like sushi, because I just started looking for anything that wasn't chicken. I'm like, but I love you, Mom. Your chicken was great, Mom. Your chicken was great.
Oh, yeah, your chicken was fantastic, Zophar's mom.
God blimey, don't sneak up on me like that.
He said the thing.
God blimey.
I'll end up doing something really friggin' stupid. Noodly, noodly, noodly. Oh, what the? Yo, everybody, did you all see that? You all saw that, right? Somebody clip that. Someone clip that moment. I want that moment clipped. You all saw that, right? Everybody here saw that, right? Validated? Told you I was gonna do it. I wasn't even trying to do it. Oh, God. Oh, thank you, game. Oh, my God. The game saved me. The game saved me. Oh, I pressed up. I swear I pressed up. All right, here we go. Someday, perhaps you will allow me to hear yours, Alex Bird. God, you suck. Maverickism! No, I'm just kidding. Hold on. Yeah, there we go. And Rig of Retro Island Gaming, Mr. Andrew R. Gaming, Andrew H., Andrew the man, the myth, the legend. If we don't beat Shining the Holy Ark soon, I'm gonna be sad.
Look at mine.
Wait, what happened?
Hold on, there's something wrong with it. Oh, the bottom.
Wait, no! You can't! Ah! Aye, me hearty, you concussed me again. Son of a... Well, if the run wasn't already dead, now it is. That's so funny. Do you see this? You all see this, right? The game's just... Not only is kicking me while I'm down, the game is literally kicking me while I'm down. F this game. Sir Boom, I hope you're doing really well. Wait, no! Actually, yes. Can't play the game if I'm dead.
Hey everyone, G Levy here. If you're interested in appearing in our next BRB video, send me a whisper on stream, or hit me up on Discord. Hope to see you soon.
Stop! Each of you will now listen to the Lord of the Realm and the Domain. Each of you have been stained by a sub-badge and marked by a follower icon. If I call your name in chat, you will answer, "Yes, Lord Zophar," or I will banish you to the black hole. My stream starts now, mortals. And we're back. Oh no, it's Soda Bagoda. I mean, hey Soda, how you doing? Where's my root beer? Straw sometimes streams. Does this mean that you are safe from being called? No. You are never safe, because in Zophar's realm you could always be banished to the black hole, where you will grow old still. Thanks, Taters Games. And on we go. Root beer is not good for Weight Watchers. You're right, it's really not. Not even diet. Diet's bad too, because it makes you want to drink sugary things. Okay, so we got to go to S. Goffs. This is important. S. Goffs is going to tell us a lot, I think. Because if she did it, if Frances did it, then her signature indeed will be there. So let's see what we find. Now, here's a place we haven't been to in a long time. Mr. Goff told us a wild and beautiful young woman, whoa, that doesn't sound like her, named Frances Nolan recently bought a gun. No disrespect to Frances Nolan, but it was already described that by her own description, Frances says that she is the sister of someone that is considered very beautiful. So, we better look into this. Purveyor of used guns at 1/3 the original price. Located 28 King Street, Covent Garden. Why is there no xylitol soda?
Do you remember a woman who came in recently and purchased a Derringer?
Oh, matter of fact, I do, sir. We don't get women in here very often, especially not alone. And I particularly remember that one because she was so pretty and she looked like she really knew how to have a good time, if you'll pardon the expression.
Do you remember her name?
I should say I do. She repeated it twice whilst I was filling out the order form. Seems like it was very important to her that I get her name right. Let me see, it was Frances Nor well, it was Frances something or other, sir.
He doesn't even remember. I don't think he was paying attention to the signature. All right, that does not sound like Frances Nolan. That might be the signature on there, but this does not sound like her. That sounds like Loretta Nolan. So I think I'm right to suspect her. So this is what I'm going to put. Escoff confirmed that a woman claiming to be Frances Nolan signed for the gun, but described her as wild and beautiful, and the description seems to fit the sister, Loretta Nolan. You have seen a less sugary soda, but you have not tried it. Yeah, xylitol is disgusting. Only dogs, and it's less icky than sugar. I find that sugar is the best way to go, honestly, even though it's all bad. I mean, honestly, water is the best way to go. Don't drink any soda. But if you got to drink soda, this is what I've learned over years of trying to lose weight, is you're better off with the occasional real soda with sugar in it than all of the chemicals that aren't sugar, but your body feels like it's getting sugar and reacts similarly, except it wants more of it because it's not. It turns out it's not actually getting the sugar that it's expecting to get. So it's actually worse, is what people say. Gamers don't drink water. F! Deer Park. Now that's good water. Moving along. We should.
Oh my god. The weeds! The weeds! The weeds! The weeds!
That's right, Melpo. They drink grog. Yar. Doodly doo. Straw sometimes dream says xylitol's not for weight loss. It's for dental health. I need some of that too. They drink. Gamers up strife. Thank you for the angel tears, but we're out. Gotta get more BRB.
Oh my god! Oh, I cracked my pants!
Here are the angel tear strife. Ah, good. That was good. Soda Pagoda is talking about root beer with xylitol. This has been a production of The Weeds, G. Levy. Hope you enjoyed The Weeds with Zophar. We now need to go check out. Oh, why'd that happen? That's weird. We now need to go check out Halliday's. I feel like Halliday's is going to be very important. Halliday's Private Hotel. Your guy Clarendon registered under the name of Clarence Guy. What was he trying to hide? Something's going on here. Halliday's Private Hotel, located on Little George Street. Site of the murder of Joseph Strangerton. Oh no, chat, let's find out.
Clarendon, poor chap. He arrived on the 29th day of May and was given a front room on the 3rd floor. 2 days later, he asked to be moved to Suite 205.
To your knowledge, did he have any visitors?
Only 2 that I'm aware of. One was a most disagreeable fellow. He was rather large, had a thick walrus moustache, and a very prominent scar down his cheek. He arrived on the 1st of June, the very day of Mr. Clarendon's move. He simply came in, sat down in the lobby, and waited. 20 minutes or so later, Mr. Clarendon came down from his room. The big man yanked him aside. I was about to send for a bobby when Mr. Clarendon signed me that all was well. After a few minutes, they left together. I never saw the man again. His other visitor, who came by quite frequently, was a most striking woman. She was quite fashionably dressed. She had a most distinctive laugh, very full and deep. I've no idea who she was.
Please, tell us about the morning of July 2nd.
It was about 9 o'clock when a woman entered. She was rather plain-looking, and I wouldn't have noticed her, except for the fact that she came in the front door, looking neither left nor right, and proceeded directly up the staircase. It couldn't have been more than 30 seconds later when I heard a bang, followed by a woman's scream. I dashed upstairs to the 2nd floor. The door to room 205 was open. Inside, I found the body of Mr. Clarendon and the woman who'd just come out. She was lying in a swoon in the center of the room with a pistol in her hand. I revived her with some whiskey. When she came to, she was totally disoriented. She had no idea where she was or what she'd done. When she saw Clarendon's body, she let out a shriek and dropped the pistol. I summoned the police.
Tell me, at what hour are the hotel's front doors locked?
Oh, 10 o'clock, sir. Anyone who arrives after that has to be let in by the night staff. Of course, Mr. Clarendon was never one of those. He was always in his room before 10.
May we see his room?
Interesting.
What have we here, Walton? Appears to be a bank statement. Oh, look here, Holmes. Appears the maid missed a spot in her sweeping. Good thing she did, Walton. You're staring at evidence. Blood. What's this stain here?
Smells like a fine sherry. Looks like someone's been celebrating.
Question is, was it with the body or over it?
Nothing much here. A couple of shirts and 3 pair of shoes.
But what you fail to notice, my dear Watson, is that one of the pairs of shoes is canvas and has been dyed black. Interesting. A sweater and trousers. An ensemble in black.
Not much of a view. All I can see is a brick wall of the building across the alley.
Ivy vines binding up a trellis.
Wow, that's a lot of information. Few moments later. No, I gotta say it in a SpongeBob SquarePants voice. A few moments later. Awfully big mustache, says Dick Danza. Soda says you were in Rat Clown Car stream and Rig was there, and he said if you did Dungeons & Dragons again, you'd do a spellcaster around Rig's persona on stream. And if there was a retro D&D team, I'd be a bard. Sweet, and I can sing doodly-doos. Would my song heal or hurt things? Zophar casts Doodly-Doo level 1. Doodly-doodly-doo. The skeleton loses 7 hit points. Like, what would it look like? You're going to have to explain, Soda. Like, what's your vision? There's a lot of information here, chat. Like, a lot of information. Like, holy crap, a lot of information. I think we have to watch it one more time.
Clarendon, poor chap. He arrived on the 29th day of May and was given a front room on the 3rd floor. 2 days later, he asked to be moved to Suite 205.
To your knowledge, did he have any visitors?
Only 2 that I'm aware of. One was a most disagreeable fellow. He was rather large, had a thick walrus moustache, and a very prominent scar down his cheek. He arrived on the 1st of June, the very day of Mr. Clarendon's move. He simply came in, sat down in the lobby, and waited. 20 minutes or so later, Mr. Clarendon came down from his room. The big man yanked him aside. I was about to send for a bobby when Mr. Clarendon signed me that all was well. After a few minutes, they left together. I never saw the man again. His other visitor, who came by quite frequently, was a most striking woman. She was quite fashionably dressed. She had a most distinctive laugh, very full and deep. I've no idea who she was.
Please, tell us about the morning of July 2nd.
It was about 9 o'clock when a woman entered. She was rather plain-looking, and I wouldn't have noticed her, except for the fact that she came in the front door, looking neither left nor right, and proceeded directly up the staircase. It couldn't have been more than 30 seconds later when I heard a bang, followed by a woman's scream. I dashed upstairs to the 2nd floor. The door to room 205 was open. Inside, I found the body of Mr. Clarendon and the woman who'd just come up. She was lying in a swoon in the center of the room with a pistol in her hand. I revived her with some whiskey. When she came to, she was totally disoriented. She had no idea where she was or what she'd done. When she saw Clarendon's body, she let out a shriek and dropped the pistol. I summoned the police.
Tell me, at what hour are the hotel's front doors locked?
Oh, 10 o'clock, sir. Anyone who arrives after that has to be let in by the night staff. Of course, Mr. Clarendon was never one of those. He was always in his room before 10.
You don't belong in this dimension, Zophar.
Otaku_Hanzo cheered 100 bits. Elementary, dear Watson.
Dr.
Proud
Hanzo,
Sherlock.
thank you for the 100
What do we
bits.
hear, Walton?
Your support of the Realm that means
Here's
really
the bank statement.
Huh.
Look here, Holmes. Appears the maid missed a spot in a sweeping.
I'm trying to like get a look at that picture. Like, what is that? Like, what is that a ledger of?
Blood.
What's this stain here?
Smells like a
What
fine
is
sherry. Looks like someone's been celebrating.
Question is, was it with the body or over it?
Nothing much here. A couple of shirts and 3 pair of shoes.
But what you fail to notice, my dear Watson, is that one of the pairs of shoes is canvas and has been dyed black.
I'm not sure what it is.
Interesting. A sweater and trousers. An ensemble in black.
No problem, Fuzzy Bane. Have a good night. Appreciate you stopping by, as always.
Not much of a view. All I can see is a brick
See you
wall
soon.
of the building across the alley.
Same, Adrian Bauer. Makes the enemy have uncontrollable bowel movements. Have to be wearing a hat to be able to cast spells. May have random bouts where you rock back and forth randomly and lose your hat. Sounds good. But that just goes for the Rig Baseball Cast, right? Not the Zophar one. Chat, I don't know. I can't see the bank records. Like, they're not. Like, what do you think? What is that? Is it trying to show us that he owes money? Is that what that mustache dude was like, you know, complaining about? Like, what? Like, I wish we could look at it. You know, like, because I want to see it. Well, we don't know what that is. I feel like it's important, but we can't tell what it is. I just see values. Some kind of ledger. It's probably showing us that he owes some kind of money, is my guess. All right, let's continue down the list. It's time for the London Library. And has an occupation as a cage cleaner. We tried, really did, but they just wouldn't answer the door. Maybe we'll have better luck. Are we supposed to be hearing something? Is something supposed to be happening here? Is this a core problem? Or is this just a glitch in the game? Or what's going on here? If bird poop were brains, I'd have a clean cage. I don't know what's going on here. Also has arachnophobia and gets -5 for spiders. Wait, Rick doesn't have arachnophobia. Does he? He doesn't really, right? Is that what the whole spider facts thing is supposed to be about? Does he really have arachnophobia? No, I can't. I can't be. I don't know what that was supposed to be. I have no idea what that was supposed to be. It's a spin on spider facts. Does anybody have any idea what was supposed to have played there? Is this a core problem? Like, they're not saying anything. Here, I'll press C again, watch. Should I look on game facts to make sure that nothing is actually here? I feel like I should, right? I'm going to not look at the rest of it. I'm only going to look for this one location. I have to know if this is a glitch in the core or not. Because this could affect the whole thing. Or this could just be a thing with the game. All right, let's see. The Mystified Murderess. I'm looking at specifically all right, here we go. I'm looking. It doesn't say. I'm not seeing it. I don't think he has tech warnophobia. Shatnerphobic. I don't think that is the case. That he would be Shatnerphobic. I'm not seeing anything for the library. Why am I not seeing anything for the library? Oh shit. This is a glitch. This is a glitch in the core. Here we go again. Another glitch. This is important information. At the London Library, Holmes and Watson read up a bit on hypnotism as a medical practice. We have no idea what they're saying now. Great. God damn it. All right, well, that's a big problem. Why are we even reading about hypnotism? London Library. Something about hypnotism according to the Game Facts site. Mr. Core doing weird stuff. Can't hear anything. Great. Like, it wasn't just me. You couldn't hear it either, right? Maybe we should go there again. Maybe if we go there again, we'll hear something. Yeah, no matter how many times we do this, we're not hearing anything. There's nothing we can do to get that information. We just know it has something to do with hypnotism. God damn it. Is there any fact that tells you exactly what is said there? Library. Hold on, I'm trying to find out. Damn it. I wish we could figure out what that would have said. Is it YouTube time? The problem is if I go to YouTube right now, Dick Danza, we might get other information that we are going to spoil. I feel like we should do everything else we possibly can, and if I can't figure it out without that exact knowledge, then we'll go to YouTube. That's what we're going to do. Man, how disappointing. I wonder if... Give me a second to think about this. Should I fire up the Genesis Mini and load the game in there and see if it has the same bug? We'll come back to this. Let's keep going for now. All right, so we know there's a problem with the London Library. Let's go to Sir Jasper Meek. Yeah, we ran into a bug, Jake Fake Snake Cake. Too busy to get this one today, Holmes. Why are they always so busy? So basically, Jake Fake Snake Cake, we tried to go to the London Library, and it's trying to show us a clip of something, but we can't hear it. So it looks like another Mr. Core Sega CD bug. But we'll see.
You're quite sure the murder weapon was a small caliber pistol? Quite. I'd also wager to say he'd been shot at very close range. Ghastly.
Tell us, Sir Jasper, at what time did you receive the body?
Around 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
And how much time would you judge to have elapsed from the time of the murder?
Well, it's always difficult to be precise in these matters, but I'd venture to say he'd been dead anywhere from 4 to 10 hours.
That's interesting. Listen to that again.
You're quite sure the murder weapon was a small caliber pistol? Quite. I'd also wager to say he'd been shot at very close range. Ghastly.
Tell us, Sir Jasper, at what time did you receive the body?
Around 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
And how much time would you judge to have elapsed from the time of the murder?
Well, it's always difficult to be precise in these matters, but I'd venture to say he'd been dead anywhere from 4 to 10 hours.
4 hours from 1 would have been 12, 11, 9. So it could have happened anywhere between 3 in the morning and 9 in the morning, right? That lines up. Yeah, so it's hard. So it doesn't tell us anything that we didn't already suspect or know. So that wasn't very helpful, unfortunately. All All right, H.R. Murray. Holmes. We found him, but he was asleep on his desk. Didn't take kindly to being bothered. Two was spelled wrong. Before he went home to sleep, he did tell us that Clarendon had been shot at very close range. He also found traces of alcohol in Clarendon's shirt. I guess he was partying before he got it. He was partying. Oh, boy.
I say, excuse me, Dr. Murray.
Hello. What?
Oh, my, I must have dozed off.
Ah, it's you, Whitson.
Whitson.
And what are you doing with yourself this afternoon? Or is it evening already? Have I missed my tea?
It's Watson, sir. We're looking into the Clarendon case, and we were wondering...
Clarendon! Ah, I just finished that report when I dozed off. Let me see. Number 301, I believe. Ah, yes. Here it is. Number 103. Clarendon, Guy. Not much, I'm afraid. A hole in the shirt where a small caliber bullet passed into the body. Extensive blood stains. Powder burns indicating a close-range shot. Ah, here's something interesting. On the lower part of the shirt, I found traces of alcohol. Wine, to be exact. Now, I have a good nose for this sort of thing, and I believe it to be an inferior quality Italian red.
An inferior alcohol, so cheap. So he's partying. Was he partying when he was killed? Probably. All right, let's keep going. I'm really annoyed about the London University bug here, or London Library bug. This is bothering me. It's just one more Sega CD core bug that we found. All right. Let's go to Disraeli O'Brien. Loretta and Clarendon have both had a couple of minor scraps with the law, but no convictions. Huh.
Both Loretta Nolan and Guy Clarendon have had several complaints filed against them, although neither of them has ever been arrested. Both have been cited for public drunkenness. Likewise, both have been involved in some unusual pranks, but no one has ever pressed charges.
So, they're not perfect by any means. Public drunkenness, some pranks, but no one pressed charges. What was Guy celebrating about before he was murdered? Disraeli O'Brien. All right, let's check Langdale Pike. Sega does what Nintendo don't. You mean lose the franchise war? Arf! Pike said he was too busy to talk to the likes of us today. All right, let's check out what Langdale Pike has
It appears as though Guy and Loretta, the terrible twins, will afflict us no more. Loretta must be desolate, what with the loss of a kindred spirit and fellow prankster. Prankster? Well, yes, my good fellow. I'll never forget the time Clarendon poured champagne down the front of Lady Leeds's new Paris gown for the sole purpose of Loretta's amusement.
I would think she must also be distraught at the loss of her lover, not to mention the imprisonment of her sister.
Well, I'm not sure about Loretta's feelings toward her sister, but I do know that Guy and Loretta were not lovers. Though outwardly they made an excellent couple. He, tall, handsome, and from a moneyed family, and she, beautiful, and an heiress in her own right. Yes, it would have been a match made in heaven. But it was a match made in far hotter regions, I suspect.
Francis claims that she and Clarendon were engaged to be married.
Well, that's hard to imagine him being who he is. Or was, as it were.
Why do you say that?
Well, Guy Clarendon was not at all a desirable sort. He'd all but been disowned by his own father for his compulsive gambling. The utter disregard for other people's money is probably what drew Clarendon and Loretta Nolan together in the first place. After all, she had managed to fritter away almost her entire fortune, unlike her sister Frances, who still had her inheritance, if not her honor, intact.
Oh, that explains it. What you driving at, Holmes?
From all I've heard of Clarendon, I suspect his interest in Frances was directed toward her sizable bank account.
Sherlock Holmes thinks Guy's interest, and so do I, by the way, in Frances Nolan was Money, 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 money. Doodle, doodle, doo. Ah. What's up, GNDP? We did not beat Dot Hack yet. We're doing Sherlock Holmes on Mondays now. So Dot Hack is relegated to what we call Wizarding Weekend, which is Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. And Mondays are Moonlight Mondays, and we're lately doing Sherlock Holmes. So we last played Dot Hack Outbreak on Saturday night. So yeah, that is what we're doing. And I really think that Guy Clarendon wanted Frances for her money. He was a gambler, so that ledger we saw probably was him owing money. So now I'm starting to wonder what the whole society burglar stuff is all about. Remember Watson read about the society burglar? And I think that we saw that newspaper article. I feel like we need more information. You're calling it now Bubsy did the murder? I think we have to talk to all the people involved in having their stuff stolen. I think we're going to get more information here. Because I'm starting to wonder, like, if he was a compulsive gambler, he needed money, he was looking to Frances for money, he was celebrating with someone when he died. What was he celebrating? Who was the dude that was roughing him up? Like, we need answers to this shit. All right, let's go to Porky Shinwell. Shinwell told us Clarendon, Leach, and Kilgore had a few cozy meetings at the Raven and Rat. Ooh, yeah, we need information here.
Sure, I remember Clarendon. He and his lady friend used to stop in here from time to time. Usually on their way to Kilgore's gaming parlor or coming back from it. Rumor has it, Clarendon was into Kilgore for a sizable sum.
Do you happen to know how much?
£7,000 was the
Oh.
figure I heard. Got to the point Kilgore wouldn't allow him in the door. Clarendon made a big fuss till Gus Bullock stepped in. Clarendon backed down pretty quick. Don't blame him none. Nobody in their right mind would want to mess with the likes of Gus.
Do you think Bullock was involved in the murder?
Nothing you could tell me about that bloke could surprise me. Anyway, Kilgore makes it clear to Clarendon that he wants his money. Then, a month or so later, Clarendon comes in all smiles, and he and Kilgore getting on like chums. Figure Clarendon must have paid him back. Then, Calvin Leach steps into the picture.
Now, who's Calvin Leach?
Leach deals in what you might call stolen property. Square dealer, too. Give you one half the value of the article.
What does Leach have to do with Clarendon and Kilgore?
Usually nothing at all. But there it is. Leach, Kilgore, and Clarendon meeting late at night just as thick as thieves. The meetings continued on right up to, well, the night before Clarendon's death.
Very interesting.
Now, we've been standing here jawing, and I don't recall hearing anybody order nothing. What'll it be, mate?
So, we know Kilgore was, I guess, a dude that owned, like, a gambling establishment, and Guy Clarendon owed him money. But then he also found another dude, Calvin Leach, who dealt in stolen merchandise. So we're thinking that Guy must have sold the dude that dealt in stolen merchandise stuff to get money and then gave it to Kilgore for the money he owed him for gambling. Oh, this is really so $7,000. He owed $7,000. Where have we heard that before? He stole $14,000 worth of shit. Oh. Okay, I'm starting to see here. So he went. I'm starting to see. I'm starting to understand now, everybody. We got to talk to these victims. We also got to talk to. We got to try to talk to Kilgore, and we got to try to talk to Calvin Leach too. But I think that Guy had something to do with this shit here. I'm getting Robin Leach, Lifestyles of the Rich and Guilty of Murder. Correct. Oh no, what's gonna happen now? Let's see. Doodly doodly doo. Doodly doodly doo. Let's go to whoever this Kilgore fellow is. Claude Kilgore. Kilgore lives eye off the hog from the quid he writes and from his seedy business establishment. You need a password to get in there, so we can't talk to him. Kilgore served 3 years at Pentonton Prison for illegal gambling, was cellmates with James Ryder's friends, Maudsley.
Any luck? Yes and no. I beg your pardon? Yes, Kilgore has met Clarendon once or twice, but no, he insists he's never heard of Calvin Leach. And you believed him?
All right. Kilgore's never heard of Calvin Leach. Probably not telling the truth, though. Did admit to knowing Clarendon a bit. Saw him once or twice, specifically. Okay. What about Calvin Leach? Calvin Leach. This bloke's a sewer rat of the first order. Fences stolen goods and somehow gets away with it. Claims he's never heard of Clarendon, but we don't buy it. Calvin Leach was implicated in a number of jewelry thefts, but he's never been convicted.
What did you learn of Calvin Leach? I think Porky Shinwell said it all. Did you ask Leach about Clarendon? Yes. What did he say, Watson? Oh, yes, of course. He said he'd never heard of him.
Never heard of him. All right, they're not going to tell us the truth. We're not going to get anywhere with them. Was worth a shot, though. We got to talk to the victims. The Vicks, right? Like CSI, it's the Vicks. Let's go find R. Baker. There's no R. Baker in here. How about Hardinge? Here's Hardinge. Caught him leaving for Scotland. Said they were attending a dinner party given by Otis Richmond. When they arrived home, his wife noticed the bracelet was gone. He was surprised that the burglar knew where it was since his wife hides it in a compartment hidden in their dressing table. So let's go here. Not in directory. Attending party by Otis Richmond. Surprised the burglar knew where it was because it was kept in hidden compartment in dressing table. So what's this Otis Richmond deal? Wanted to know if any of us had any experience as manservant. That's a good one. Other than that, we couldn't get a thing out of him. Oh, boy.
At first, I thought it must have been one of the servants. After all, there was no sign of a search, and nothing else was disturbed. Did you question them? Thoroughly, but none of them would admit a thing. It really wasn't until Hardinge and Bessie Durth were robbed, and the newspapers referred to us as victims of the society burglar, that I was certain it wasn't any of my staff. By the way, can you recommend a good housekeeper and valet?
Wait a minute. Oh, he's on here. Wait a minute. Hardinge was attending a party by Otis Richmond, and then Otis Richmond also had something stolen. So they were both at the same party. What about this B. Lewin person? I'm seeing a pattern, chat. Oh no. Exactly. This is the best I got. This is my version of Riggs hand mapping. I can do mystery games. I can't do maps. B. Lewin. Not to be confused with the amazing Kelsey Lewin, formerly of the Video Game History Foundation. Richmond, you cur. All of them wear clothes. Couldn't get near the place. The butler turned us away from the door. Bradford Lewin was educated at Oxford University and now advises the Queen on foreign affairs. These are all very upper crust people.
We were at a reception at Buckingham Palace for the new head of the China delegation. Upon arriving home, my wife discovered that her favorite ruby earrings were missing. We noticed nothing else out of place. No sign of a search, that is. And none of the servants had heard anything suspicious.
Upon arriving home. So what about Richmond? What about Richmond? Doodly doodly doo. Otis Richmond. Wanted to know if any of us had any. Oh right, we never went there, did we?
At first, I thought it must have been one of the servants.
Oh no, it's
After
the
all,
same dude. It's
there
the
wasn't
dude.
a sign of a search, and nothing else was disturbed.
Did you question them?
Why did
Thoroughly, but none of
Did I
them would
delete
admit
what I
to
wrote?
It really wasn't until Hardinge and Bessie Durst were robbed,
Oh.
and the newspapers referred to us as victims of the society burglar, that I was certain it wasn't any of my staff. By the way, can you recommend a good housekeeper and valet?
Yeah, we saw this one already. But alright, it's fine. Dearth, diamond necklace. What about Richmond was recorded before a live studio audience. Alright, let's go talk to Dearth. We're gonna talk to Dearthy Dearth.
Ah!
Fickle Pickle Pie.
Pie cheered 130 bits.
Thank you for the
video on Retro Rewind 1.
Thank you for the 130 bits. Your support of the realm of the domain is greatly appreciated. If you have not yet seen the video that Fickle Pickle Pie is referring to, Zophar's Retro Rewind Episode 1 was released 10 days ago. There's the link to YouTube. Shh, don't tell Twitch. Liking, subscribing, and commenting really helps me out. I'm glad you enjoyed it, Fickle Pickle Pie. Episode 2 is now in pre-production, which is going to be all about speedrunning in the days of Nesticle. But that being said, we need to talk to Dearth. So let's talk to Dearth. The old bag shoot us off her front steps, threatened us with a cane, she did. Bessie Dearth is the wife of the late Hiram Dearth, who made his fortune harvesting diamonds from the mines of South Africa. Dearth was in partnership with Sir Francis Clarendon. That's interesting.
My husband, God rest his soul, gave me that necklace for our 50th wedding anniversary. And woe betide the blighter that took it, I say.
I can certainly understand your consternation, madam. May I assume that you were out the evening it was taken?
Oh, yes, the house was completely empty. Sybil, my housekeeper, and I were attending a mass charity ball at St. Mary's for the benefit of unwed mothers. It wouldn't surprise me if that scoundrel was responsible in that direction as well. Society burglar, indeed. He's of the lower classes, mark my words.
Do you keep your jewels locked up?
Oh, I keep them in a very secret place. A box made to look like a copy of Great Expectations on the bookshelf amidst the other books. Hiram, my late husband, thought of that. But the thief went right to
it. How are they finding out where, like, they're all like hidden, but they're finding it anyway? How they, and if it is Guy Clarendon having something to do with this, how's he finding it? They were at a charity ball. Did they say St. Mary's? Is that where they said? Let me listen to it one more time.
My husband, God rest his soul, gave me that necklace for our 50th wedding anniversary. And woe betide the blighter that took it, I say.
I can certainly understand your consternation, madam. May I assume that you were out the evening it was taken?
Oh, yes, the house was completely empty. Sybil, my housekeeper, and I were attending a mass charity ball at St. Mary's for the benefit of unwed mothers. It wouldn't surprise
A charity
me
ball at
that
St. Mary. Should we try to get information on that? Let's see. What's up, Marirun? Is this as good as the books? It's pretty good. I think it's pretty compelling. It's one of those games that just got overlooked because, you know, FMV and all that. I see St. Bartholomew's Hospital. But she didn't say St. Bartholomew, right? She said St. Mary's. So that's not going to help us. All right, let's go check out Judd. Let's go check out Ashley Judd, or Nancy Judd. The old dame kept the pendant that was swiped in the toe of her old black shoe. Nothing on file.
What did you learn, Watson?
Not a thing, Holmes.
You learned nothing?
Don't get testy, Holmes. There wasn't anyone about.
My humble apologies, Watson.
All right, so that didn't really give us a whole bunch, except, again, it's a hidden place, and the burglar just knows where to go. Now, what about the diamond tiara? So this is the big one. This burglary happened, like, days before the murder of Guy Clarendon. So, and we also know that Guy Clarendon poured alcohol down Lady Leeds' blouse or whatever. So, here's Sir Sandford Leeds. No one was home when we went there. Maybe I better luck. Beware of the bulldog in the yard.
Pity. It appears that no one is
Damn.
in.
However, can you tell, Holmes?
There is a sign on the door that says, "We are gone for the day."
How terribly observant, Holmes.
Elementary, my dear Watson.
Yeah, there's some cool art mixed in with the FMV stuff. Well, anything Holmes always makes you think about Data. Elementary, my dear Data. And Moriarty. Wasn't Moriarty awesome in Next Generation? And then he makes a cameo in Picard Season 3. Hope you're well selling the cat. That's disappointing. Why can't we go see more about Lady Leeds? I want to know more about her, but there's nothing. There's just nothing. All right, what about Somerset House? Anything here? Looks like the Nolan girls both get an equal cut of their old man's estate. He owned 1/3 of the Aberdeen Navigation Company. So they both had money.
It seems Sir Malcolm left his entire estate to his wife, Margaret. If she should precede him in death...
Or accompany him, as proved to be the case.
Yes. Then the estate was to be equally divided between his two daughters, Frances and Loretta. The estate included a 1/3 share in the Aberdeen Navigation Company.
So, let's see. Frances and Loretta Nolan both had a big share of the Aberdeen Navigation Company fortune. Okay. I feel like we need more information on that doctor, Dr. Trevelyan. Because now that whole thing that we didn't get to hear at the library is seeming to matter more. The whole hypnosis thing. Where does hypnosis come into play here? I think Guy Clarendon was the one stealing that money. The dude. I think Guy Clarendon was stealing the jewelry and selling it for money to pay his debt to Kilgore, and was selling him to the other dude. What was the other dude's name? The dude that was with Kilgore, Calvin Leach. Yeah, that's what I think is happening here. But we need to know more about the doctor, Trevelyan. He was treating the sister. So what's his deal again? Dr. Percy Trevelyan was a practicing physician at the Mesmer Braid Institute from 1878 to 1886, where he specialized in treating neurosis through hypnosis. He currently conducts a private... Okay, check this out. This is going to sound crazy. I have an idea. Remember how they said that Frances Nolan walked up the stairs of Holiday Inn looking neither left nor right, just like staring and going to the top? What if the blackouts was her somehow being hypnotized? Like, what if it had nothing to do with, like, what she was eating or drinking? Maybe each time she was just getting hypnotized by her sister. What if this is all Loretta? Because I don't trust her sister. And the first time it happened, remember she was having lunch with her sister? So what if her sister, who understands how hypnosis works, because Dr. Trevelyan does it on her, is hypnotizing Loretta, did some test runs with her, thought it would be funny, and then framed her for murdering Guy Clarendon. So then who murdered Guy Clarendon? Why would... If she's trying to frame her sister for murder, then either she murdered him and then wanted it to look like it was her sister, or she made her sister murder him. How do we know which it is? Loretta, that witch. How do we know which way it went? Like, or does it matter? Like, if it was Francis that did it, wouldn't it have been Loretta's fault if Loretta hypnotized her? So either way, wouldn't it be considered Loretta murdering her? And how was Guy Clarendon doing those burglaries? He was always back in his room before 10. I think we need to go back to the Holiday place again. I think we missed something. All right, I want to go back to the Holiday. Let's watch this one more time. I feel like the answer is here.
Clarendon, poor chap. He arrived on the 29th day of May and was given a front room on the 3rd floor. 2 days later, he asked to be moved to suite 205.
To your knowledge, did he have any visitors?
That would have been the 31st.
Only 2 that
Why
I'm
he has to be
aware of.
moved?
One was a most disagreeable
Who is
fellow.
that?
He was rather large, had a thick walrus moustache, and a very prominent scar down his cheek. He arrived on the 1st of June, well, the very day of Mr. Clarendon's move. He simply came in, sat down in the lobby, and waited. 20 minutes or so later, Mr. Clarendon came down from his room. The big man yanked him aside. I was about to send for a bobby when Mr. Clarendon signed me that all was well. After a few minutes, they left together. I never saw the man again. His other visitor, who came by quite frequently, was a most striking woman. She was quite fashionably dressed. She had a most distinctive laugh, very full and deep. I've no idea who she was.
Please, tell us about the morning of July 2nd.
It was about 9 o'clock when a woman entered. She was rather plain-looking, and I wouldn't have noticed her, except for the fact that she came in the front door, looking neither left nor right, and proceeded directly up the staircase. It couldn't have been more than 30 seconds later when I heard a bang, followed by a woman's scream. I dashed upstairs to the 2nd floor. The door to room 205 was open. Inside, I found the body of Mr. Clarendon and the woman who'd just come up. She was lying in a swoon in the center of the room with a pistol in her hand. I revived her with some whiskey. When she came to, she was totally disoriented. She had no idea where she was or what she'd done. When she saw Clarendon's body, she let out a shriek and dropped the pistol. I summoned the police.
Tell me, at what hour are the hotel's front doors locked?
Oh, 10 o'clock, sir. Anyone who arrives after that has to be let in by the night staff. Of course, Mr. Clarendon was never one of those. He was always in his room before 10.
May we see his room?
I think the ledger is very important here, chat. I think this room is super important.
What have we here, Watson? Appears to be a bank statement. Oh, look here, Holmes.
Whose
Appears
bank?
They missed a spot in a sweeping. Good thing she did, Watson. You're staring at evidence.
Do we have to go to all the banks? Like, try to just go to the directory, see if there's a bank in there? Or multiple banks, just start going to them?
Smells like a fine sherry. Looks like someone's been celebrating.
The question is, was it with the body or over it?
Nothing much here. Couple of shirts and 3 pair of shoes.
But what you failed to notice, my dear Watson, is that one of the pairs of shoes is canvas and has been dyed black. Interesting. A sweater and trousers. An ensemble in black.
Not much of a view. All I can see is a brick wall of the building across the alley.
Ivy vines winding up a trellis.
Oh, I see how he's doing it. Okay, all right, check this out, chat. Exactly, culinary disaster. Check this out, chat. What if, just what if, he's wearing the camouflage, the black clothes and the black shoes, and he's sneaking out down the trellis. Sherlock Holmes said there was a vine, so maybe he's like rappelling or whatever, like climbing down the vine with his black clothes, and that's how he's robbing him. And maybe what he's doing, because he says he's a partier and he drinks alcohol, and we already know he was with Leeds, right? We already know that. So what if he's like going to these different parties and schmoozing with them, and then finding out through schmoozing where their hidden stuff is, and that's how he's able to go to it every time. And then because he got in trouble with Kilgore, he's selling the shit to the other dude, whose name I keep forgetting. What was look at my notes again. The dude, Calvin Leach. And maybe that dude that was roughing him up is just some random dude that worked for Kilgore. And it's not important who he is. Batman and Robin Leach. What's up, Zexy? I hope you're doing well. So maybe what we need to do is look at the banks. We got to see what that ledger is. I think it's going to prove that he owed a shit ton of money. I feel like we need to know what bank, though. I don't know how to know that. Let's try the Bank of England. Our knuckles are sore from pounding on the door. Nobody would bloody answer it. Let's go there and make sure.
Sorry, Holmes. No information here. Then let's not dawdle, Watson. There's work to be done.
Let's not dawdle, Watson. All right, well, that didn't work. What about Cox and Company, the other bank we just saw? Maybe that'll tell us something. Doodle, doodle, doo. Doodle. Our favorite kind of place. Unfortunately, they wouldn't let us sample their wares. In fact, they wouldn't tell us a thing. That's probably nothing also. God damn it.
Mr. Clarendon appears to be a frequent depositor.
Oh,
yes,
shit.
but it looks as if he's afraid the money will burn a hole in his bank book if he leaves it in too long.
All right, so we do know that he makes a lot of deposits and withdrawals. Does that really tell us anything? Let's just bank. Cox and Company. He makes a lot of withdrawals and deposits. What chat? Where does that? What does that leave us with? Like, what's left? Is that everything we need to know? Should we go to Porky Shinwell one more time? Make sure we didn't miss anything there. Like, now I'm second guessing myself. Because I feel like I have a loose idea. But I still, I feel like it's Guy Clarendon that's committing the society burglars. And I'm pretty sure he's selling the shit. And that's how he's paying the money. But, I still don't know. Was it Loretta? Did Loretta directly murder Guy? And why? What did she want? She's a little off her rocker. She thinks she's a princess. Princess. Is this a stretch? Tiara? Princess? She's a little crazy. Did she kill Guy because she wanted the tiara? I mean, that was worth the most of any of it. He owed money, $7,000 or 7,000 pounds, right? So let's see. 2,000... 4,000, 5,000, 8,000. This would have put him over the top right here. No, I'm wrong. Because he was getting half the value from Leach. Remember Porky Shinwell? We got to go to Porky Shinwell again. We got to listen carefully here. I feel like there's more information here. One more time. You think Loretta's in on it for a cut, but not the main? Maybe.
Sure, I remember Clarendon. He and his lady friend used to stop in here from time to time. Usually on their way to Kilgore's gaming parlor or coming back from it. Rumor has it, Clarendon was into Kilgore for a sizable sum.
Do you happen to know how much?
7,000 pounds was the figure I heard. Got to the point Kilgore wouldn't allow him in the door. Clarendon made a big fuss.
Dude on the right.
Bullock stepped in. Clarendon backed down
Who?
pretty quick. Don't blame him none. Nobody in their right mind would want to mess with the likes of Gus.
Do you think Bullock
Gus
was involved in the murder?
Bullock.
Nothing you could tell me about that bloke would surprise me. Anyway, Kilgore makes it clear to Clarendon that he wants his money. Then, a month or so later, Clarendon comes in all smiles, and he and Kilgore getting on like chums. Figure Clarendon must have paid him back. Then, Calvin Leach steps into the picture.
Now, who's Calvin Leach?
Leach deals in what you might call stolen property. Square dealer, too. Give you one half the value of the article.
One half.
Leach have to do with Clarendon and Kilgore?
Usually nothing at all. But there it is. Leach, Kilgore, and Clarendon meeting late at night just as thick as thieves. The meetings continued on right up to, well, the night before Clarendon's death.
Very interesting.
Now, we've been standing here jawing, and I don't recall hearing anybody order nothing. What'll it be, mate?
Okay, check this out. Okay, I think I got it figured out. If he owed if he owed $7,000, but he only gets half the value, then that means the tiara would have been the thing that put him over. You see? And so maybe him and Loretta had an argument because he was going to sell the tiara to get 2,500 pounds, which is all that was left to pay off his debt. But Loretta wanted the tiara for herself. And so maybe she decided to kill him and then frame Francis with the hypnotism, which is the thing that we don't have all the information on from the London University or London Library. What do I keep calling it university? So then Guy Clarendon is the society burglar, and Loretta Nolan is the murderer of Guy Clarendon. Right? Doesn't that make sense? It's got to be, right? So that means Gerald Locke had nothing to do with anything. He just liked Francis, and Francis didn't like him back. And I think we solved it. Right? Is there anything else that we didn't get? Any other information we need? Do you think we're good to go to the judge? Because if you try to go to the judge and you haven't done all the things the game wants you to do, it won't work. Do you think we hit it all? Let's go see. Let's see if we missed anything. I think we got it. That's what I think happened.
Hear ye, hear ye. The Queen's Court stands in session.
It'll let us do it.
Mr. Holmes, I understand you've been looking into the murder of Guy Clarendon.
That is correct, my lord.
Would you be so kind as to tell the court who killed Mr. Clarendon? Please choose from either your notebook or directory, Mr. Holmes.
Certainly, my lord.
Certainly, my lord. All right, we think that it's Loretta Nolan. Do we all agree on this, chat? Loretta Nolan? It's got to be.
I see. And what was Loretta Nolan's motive for killing Clarendon?
I think she wanted that last piece of jewelry. I think she wanted the tiara that he needed. That's what I think. Let's see what the options are. Loretta only meant to scare him as a joke. She thought the gun was unloaded. No. She was jealous of his relationship with her sister Frances. No, because we both know that everyone said it wasn't serious. He just wanted her money. She had her eye on the Cleopatra tiara. That's what I think. She was no longer in love with him. I don't think she ever was. Clarendon named Loretta in his will, leaving to her all his worldly goods. No. So I'm going to say she had her eye on the tiara.
Ah, greed. Pure and simple.
Greed.
Now, have you determined why Francis Nolan went to Halliday's?
I have, my lord.
Please inform the court.
All right. Dr. Mason told her it would help her bouts of memory loss. No, he never said that. She was hypnotized by her sister Loretta. That's what I think. What are the other options? Sir Francis Clarendon asked her to deliver some money to his son. No. He already said he cut him off. Loretta told her that Guy wanted to see her. No, because she would have mentioned that. She had the memory loss, remember? Frances wanted to declare her love for Guy. She had already declared that a long time ago. I say it's hypnotism.
Not a very sisterly thing to do at all.
No.
Is there anything else you wish to report to the court?
Yes, my lord. I believe we've also solved the case of the society burglar.
You don't say. Who is the guilty party?
Remember, we may choose from either the notebook or the directory.
I believe we are already aware of that, Watson.
Thanks, Watson. Doodly doodly doo. We believe it's Guy Clarendon.
Guy Clarendon was straight from the upper crust. Why ever did he turn to a life of crime?
He was straight from the upper crust. I said that earlier, about upper crust. He owed money to Calvin Leach. He didn't owe money to Calvin Leach. Calvin Leach was the dude he sold the shit to. His father cut him off financially. That's what I think. Loretta Nolan dared him to. Nah. He was an accomplice of Gus Bullock's. Shit, we never talked to Gus Bullock. Uh-oh. Nah, that can't be it. Kilgore insisted that he do it to pay off the debt. Well, I don't think Kilgore necessarily insisted on it. I think it's more likely that he had no money, so he asked Kilgore what he could do to pay it off, and Kilgore probably referred him to Leach. So I'm going to say it was being cut off.
Congratulations, gentlemen.
We did it.
A difficult case.
On the contrary, my lord, it was elementary.
That's what you think. Nonetheless, the good people of London are forever in your debt.
Woohoo!
Thank you.
My pleasure, my lord.
My pleasure, my lord. All right, let's go see Holmes explain everything. He'll be able to fill in some blanks. We never went to see about Bullock. Oh, my God. We got
Dear
killed.
Holmes, my word, dear Holmes. Perhaps we are in the wrong business altogether. If we had been top-notch, we should have cracked this case in 40 points.
Sheesh.
Perhaps we should consider opening a tobacco shop and leave the detective work to Scotland Yard.
F! Yeah, a lower score is better. So, you know, you get it's cost points for every person you visit or send the Baker Street irregulars to. We got wrecked. All right, well, let's go see Holmes' solution. Let's see how Holmes came to the conclusion.
Well, Watson, we should be very pleased with ourselves on this one.
Yes, indeed, Holmes. 2 cases solved for Scotland Yard.
Though I doubt that Lestrade will consider himself in our debt. 2? Yes, indeed. First, the society burglar. Clarendon was £7,000 in debt to the gambler Kilgore. Unfortunately, he was in his father's bad graces and he was flat broke.
Do you suppose Kilgore sent Bullock around to rough Clarendon up?
Good deduction, Watson. You're learning. That's why he moved into Halliday's, to escape Gus Bullock.
And to pay off his debts, he took to burglary.
Right you are. He acquired a black sweater, trousers, and a pair of black canvas shoes so as not to be seen or heard in the dead of night. He chose victims of his own class, whose social comings and goings he knew well, and whose homes he'd visited often.
I still don't understand why, after he'd settled in at Halliday's, he changed rooms.
Elementary, my dear Watson.
Yeah, why did he change
To be at the back of the hotel with a vine-covered trellis conveniently leading in and out of his bedroom window.
Quite so.
That way they wouldn't see him
Positively clever
coming
of
out.
you.
May I continue?
Oh, please do.
Huh.
On the 1st of June, Bullock tracked Clarendon down and confronted him in the lobby. Clarendon paid him the £5,000 that was given to him by his father.
He still owed Kilgore £2,000. And that was the same evening the society burglar struck for the first time.
Right.
So pleased you've been paying attention, Watson. Soon after that, Clarendon, Kilgore, and Calvin Leach, a known trafficker in stolen goods, were seen together. Notice, if you will, that 1/2 the value of the first 3 society burglaries is equal to £2,000. Half the value being the price normally paid by Calvin Leach for stolen goods. Notice also that this same amount is equal to the balance of Clarendon's debt to Kilgore.
Fascinating. So with his new vocation, Clarendon now had an easy source of income.
Quite so, as his succeeding bank transactions evidence. On the day after each of the next 3 burglaries, Clarendon made deposits. Everything went along swimmingly, and by June 30th, his debt was paid.
But the tiara was stolen July 1st.
Yes, Watson. Apparently, young Clarendon thought he'd found himself a new vocation. He might have lasted longer at it if he'd chosen something else to steal.
Whatever do you mean, Holmes?
Loretta Nolan's delusion that she was born of royal parentage proved to be his undoing.
If she took it, how did she manage? No one saw her enter or leave.
She came and went the same way Clarendon did.
The trellis.
Via the trellis. She was armed with a derringer purchased at Escotts in her sister's name. Clarendon returned from his night's work and poured 2 glasses of wine in celebration. That's when Loretta Nolan shot him and took the tiara.
How wicked of her.
Not nearly as wicked as what she did next.
What?
She went to her sister Frances's home and hypnotized her. She then proceeded to instruct her to go to Clarendon's room with the derringer and fire it into the ceiling.
Incriminate her own sister? But why?
If we could determine that precisely, we could start our own institute.
Sick mind, no doubt. But tell me, Holmes, how did Clarendon know the precise locations of each of his victims' jewels?
Excellent question, Watson. Although there is no clear-cut evidence for this, I can only assume that Loretta Nolan must have been in on it too. The only way Clarendon could have known the locations of the jewels was if the victims themselves had told him where to look. None of them recalls having told anyone, but in fact they did tell someone. Who? Loretta Nolan.
Oh, she hypnotized them.
She managed to hypnotize each of the ladies whose jewels were stolen and got them to reveal the precise locations of the family treasure.
I see.
And left them with no memory of having done so.
Precisely.
Astounding, Holmes.
Elementary, my dear Watson.
Elementary, Watson. Hey, that's a little bit of a stretch, but because I don't think hypnotism would really work that well. But it's a game, and the game was afoot. Churd, we enjoyed sleuthing tonight. We just beat the second case of Sherlock Holmes Consulting Detective Volume 1 for Sega CD. There are 3 volumes of this game, 3 cases each for a total of 9. 3 in this one, 3 in the second Sega CD game, and the third game only came out for PC, which I have too. So we got a lot of case sleuthing to go. Yeah, that was case number 2, so did we go to. The first case we did last Monday. We did, I'm glad the stream is relaxing for you. We did the Mummy's Curse last week. So we did it. Yay! Another case knocked out in Sherlock Holmes Consulting Detective Volume 1. But I'm afraid that is all the time we have for